Chapter 421, Yun Chujia's Lullaby. Yun Chujio held Di Baiming's arm and asked sweetly, Prince Charming, do you think I'm good-looking? Do you think I'm as beautiful as a painting? As lovely as a flower? As refined as precious jade? Exceptionally intelligent. So beautiful and intelligent, it moves the hearts of all. Loved by all. Devastatingly gorgeous with beauty capable of captivating even the birds and beasts. A beauty so out of this world. 1. The group of female disciples that tailed them heard Yun Chujia's words and wanted to slap her. They had seen shameless people before, but this was the first time they had seen such a shameless person. Unless young Master D was blind, he would only think that this bony little girl was good-looking. Di Baiming nodded slightly. It was impossible for him to say something like "you're really good-looking" with his personality. Was considered the greatest affirmation. When the female disciples saw that Di Baiming only responded with they felt that young Master D must be very well-mannered and could not bear to hurt her, so they were just perfunctory. Yes, that must be it. Prince Charming, then do you like me? You're not allowed to say If you want to say yes or no, then do it. Yun Chujio raised her small face and asked with a smile. The hearts of the female disciples were in their throats. No. Quickly say no. Young Master D definitely would not like this thick-skinned Yun Chujio. Yes. Di Baiming's low voice was like a sharp sword piercing into the hearts of the female disciples. Impossible. How could young Master D actually like this thick-skinned Yun Chujio? This was impossible. Yun Chujia's face was smiling as brightly as like a flower. From the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of those little fairies' grief-stricken expressions. It was simply too satisfying. Damn it, you guys dare to dream about my man. You guys are really gutsy. Prince Charming, are you only going to like me? Yun Chujia's question was half real, and her heartbeat also slightly accelerated. There are many beautiful things in life, but it is enough to grasp only one of them, too. Di Baiming did not hesitate and said slowly and firmly. Yun Chujio felt that her heart was about to jump out of her chest, and her face was slightly hot. She quickly covered her face and pointed at the stars in the sky and said, Prince Charming, look at how beautiful the stars in the sky are. Okay. After Di Baiming said that, he took out his sword, held Yun Chujia's waist, and wrote on his sword, Little Jiu, the stars in the sky are even more beautiful. The girls on the ground were heartbroken when they saw Di Baiming and Yun Chujio leaning against each other on the flying sword and looking at the stars. That young Master D truly did not like the enchanting beauties like them but liked Yun Chujio who had neither breasts nor buttocks. There must be something wrong with his eyes. Yun Chujio and Di Baiming sprinkled dog food all the way back to Yun Chujia's courtyard. After washing up, she climbed to the inner side of the bed and said fawningly, Prince Charming, sing the lullaby. Yes, sing the song Clear Moon, Quiet Winds, 3. Di Baiming glanced at her. My throat hurts. I can't sing. Yun Chujia's small face fell. Who was he kidding? His throat was still hurting. He just didn't want to sing it for her. The gigolo was rebelling. Just now, he looked so affectionate outside. It turned out he was just pretending. Idol, who said that as long as I'm alive, he will sing lullabies for me every day. If I'm tired of that song, he'll learn a few new ones. Di Baiming's eyes flickered. I did say that, but I can't sing today because of my sore throat. I'll sing to you another day when my throat doesn't hurt. You're obviously just looking for an excuse. If you didn't want to sing, you don't have to. I'll be fine even without your help. I'll sing to myself. Sing the way you sing the braised pork with skin. Yes, the pork with skin is the main ingredient. The supplementary ingredients are the oil, salt, soy sauce, and brown sugar. Wash the pork with skin, boil it, and fish it out, fish it out, fish it out. Di Baiming almost fell off the bed. Black thing, are you kidding me? Recipes can also be used as a lullaby. Chapter 422, Do I Look Like a Bride? Yun Chujio glanced at him and sang even louder. When the brown sugar bubbles up, put the meat in. After repeating that a few times, Di Biming could not stand it anymore. Shut up. Stop singing. Humph. If you don't want to sing for me, then I'll just sing myself, okay? Not only do I know the song of braised pork, but I also know the song of dumplings with cabbage stuffing. The dumpling making song goes like this. Flour is the main ingredient, and the supplementary ingredients are the meat stuffing and cabbage. In order to not be brainwashed by the demonic music, Di Biming could only say, "I'll sing for you, please stop." Yun Chujio shook her head repeatedly. Isn't your throat hurting? I don't need you, I can sing by myself. I'll be able to fall asleep as I sing. After I sing the song of dumplings, I'll sing the song of buns, and after I'm done with that, I'll sing the song of pies. I know a lot of songs. Di Biming gritted his teeth. It doesn't hurt anymore. Lie down and I'll sing for you. Alright then. I'll force myself to listen to you sing. If your throat is sore, don't force yourself. I can even sing the song of steamed fish. Di Biming was afraid that this fellow would sing again, so he quickly began to sing in a low voice. The moon is bright, the wind is calm, and the leaves cover the window. Yun Chujio closed her eyes, feeling very proud in her heart. Little brat, I can't control you anymore. If you don't sing a lullaby for me in the future, I will sing a recipe to torture you. The next day, after breakfast, Yun Chujio let the 9 fire spirit beasts out for a stroll. Since the gigolo was there, she was not afraid that someone would come and snatch it. The 5 little fire spirit beasts were curious about everything they saw. Some were playing on the swing, and some were chasing and biting their tails. Among them, little number 5 used 2 small front claws to scratch a corner of the yard a few times, and then ate a fruit core. However, no one noticed this. Yun Chujio was currently considering whether to let number 4 acknowledge her as its master. If she did, she would definitely attract lightning again. Yun Chujio thought for a moment and decided to let number 4 acknowledge her as its master. So be it if she had to be struck by lightning. After all, she should not miss this opportunity. Number 4, come and acknowledge me as your master. Yun Chujio drew blood from her index finger and dripped it into fire spirit beast number 4's mouth. Then, she began to form a seal. A simple, yet complicated pattern of a contract appeared in the air. A moment later, the contract was established. As expected, after a while, a dark cloud floated over from the sky. However, no matter how one looked at it, the dark cloud seemed to be unwilling. It trembled and slowly moved toward Yun Chujio's dormitory. Yun Chujio glanced at it. Prince Charming, let's go to the back of the mountain. We'll be struck again. But this time, the dark cloud seems to be very weak. Di Biming took out a fiery red dress from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chujio. Try it out. As long as it is not the heavenly lightning like last time, there shouldn't be an issue. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. It can prevent lightning? My Prince Charming, you're so great. Do you have a hat? Although there are hair growth pills, it will take a few days to grow to the length of my shoulders. I can't find the hat, but I found a Phoenix Nirvana immortal handkerchief. You can tie it on your head. Di Biming handed Yun Chujio a fiery red handkerchief. Yun Chujio ran into the house and changed her clothes. The handkerchief covered her hair, with the knot ends forming 2 small pigtails behind her head. She jumped out. My Prince Charming, look at me. I'm all red. Do I look like a bride? Yun Chujio walked around on the ground. Di Biming was slightly stunned. He did not expect her to look so good in red. Chapter 423, mesmerized by her own beauty. Yun Chujio saw that Di Biming was in a daze and could not help but giggle. "Prince Charming, have you lost your mind looking at me? Ha ha ha, don't be embarrassed. Sometimes, I can even mesmerize myself by looking at my reflection in the mirror. Why am I so good looking?" And Feng, who was in the corner, almost burst out laughing. "Miss Jiu, and you dare to call Shui Wuji narcissistic? I think you're the more narcissistic one. You even enchanted yourself with a mirror. How narcissistic can you be? What nonsense are you spouting? Let's go." The flirtatious thoughts in Di Biming's mind were instantly dispelled by Yun Chujio's shameless words. Yun Chujio pursed her lips. "You keep saying that I'm spouting nonsense. How was I spouting nonsense? You're clearly enchanted by my beauty, yet you refuse to admit it." "Humph." Yun Chujio ignored Di Biming's dark expression. She hopped and put the fire spirit beasts into her storage ring. She sat on the chopping board and flew to the back of the mountain. Di Biming snorted coldly and followed behind Yun Chujio. He planned in his heart that after the lightning strikes were over, he would let the black thing change out of this set of clothes. Otherwise, it would attract too much attention. After the two of them reached the back of the mountain, Yun Chujio found an empty space. She pointed at the dark clouds in the sky and shouted, "Hey, little dark cloud, just do what you want. If you make my new clothes dirty, I'll give you an earful." The dark clouds in the sky was feeling miserable at that moment. It had not managed to kill this scourge even with such a big formation last time. Hearing that they had to attack her, no one was willing to go. It was unlucky enough to be picked. This scourge was right. It could not kill her anyway. The dark cloud just had to do something as a token and that would suffice. Therefore, after a few scattered strikes, the dark clouds drifted away as if it was escaping. Yun Chujio was a little dumbfounded. It was over just like that. Well, this dark cloud was not bad. The dark cloud finally received a good review. "Prince Charming, let's go. Since it's over, let's go find Master Shenyuan to look at the new residences for the fire spirit beasts." Yun Chujio held Di Biming's arm and said with a smile. "Well, okay. But, you should change your clothes." "Why? Doesn't this look nice? It looks festive and fits my lively character." Yun Chujio was very satisfied with this set of clothes. The gigolo's taste was not bad. Cough. "This set of clothes is of the immortal artifact level. Aren't you afraid that you'll be punished for wearing a treasure? Why don't you put the sect uniform on outside so that people won't covet it?" Di Biming said seriously. When Yun Chujio heard this, she immediately felt that it made sense. The gigolo was right. One should not reveal one's wealth. It would be bad if others were to covet it. Thus, Yun Chujio put the sect uniform on the outside of this set of clothes. The Phoenix Nirvana immortal handkerchief on her head was put into her storage ring. Only then did she and Di Biming go to see Master Shenyuan. The fire spirit beast's residence was located at the back mountain of Zhang Peak. Firstly, there was a mineral vein here. Secondly, it was quite far from the back of Middle Peak. This was to prevent Yun Chujio from being struck by lightning. Thirdly, the terrain there was suitable for setting up guards. Yun Chujio felt satisfied after checking the area and released the 9 fire spirit beasts. The 5 small beasts were reluctant to part with her until Yun Chujio promised to come and play with them whenever she had time and give them delicious food. Only then did they enter the cave. "Master Shenyuan, we can now spread the news of the fire spirit beast descending from the sky. Remember, we only have 1 fire spirit beast. When the time comes, the supply of earth fire should be limited, especially for the Heavenly Gates sect. If they don't give us 1/10 of the share of the spirit stones, we won't sell them even 1 piece of earth fire." Master Shenyuan nodded. Du Gai, that old thing, would definitely act shamelessly. However, he was unlucky to have met little Jiu. Chapter 424, You stole our beast in less than 3 days. The news that the Spirit Radiance sect had obtained a fire essence beast spread like wildfire. Du Gai was so angry that he started to twitch. It must have been stolen from us. And you even said that it was a heavenly gift. What bullshit. Spread the news that Spirit Radiance sect had stolen Heavenly Gate sect's fire spirit beast and send invitations to all the major sections. Say that in 3 days, Heavenly Gate sect will go to Spirit Radiance sect to seek justice and ask everyone to be a witness. The others from the sect were also extremely angry. One of them commented, Sect leader, I really can't understand how Spirit Radiance sect extinguished the earth fire and stole the fire spirit beast. Du Gai gnashed his teeth and said, no matter how they did it, I will not forgive them this time. They actually stole our fire spirit beast and then set a trap for me to jump in. It's really detestable. 3 days later, Du Gai brought the people of Heavenly Gate sect to the foot of Spirit Radiance sect's mountain. The other forces of the Qingxian continent also sent people over. They were mostly maintaining a wait-and-see attitude. This matter of the earth fire was not a small issue, who had to be put aside first. In the end, the most important thing was to reap the benefits. People of Spirit Radiance sect, hurry up and come out. Stealing Heavenly Gate sect's fire spirit beast is really shameless. Come out and confront us. The people of Heavenly Gate sect shouted loudly. The voices of the people from Heavenly Gate sect had gone hoarse. The mountain gate of Spirit Radiance sect was still tightly shut, and not a single person came out. Steam almost came out of Du Gai's ears from anger. Was Master Xianyuan planning to hide in there? Just as everyone was slowly losing their patience, Spirit Radiance sect's mountain gates opened, and Master Xianyuan came out with 5 other peak masters and all the elders with a smile on his face. Everyone, sorry for not welcoming you earlier. I just helped the fire spirit beast take a bath, so I was held back for a bit. Please forgive me. Master Xianyuan cupped his hands at everyone. Everyone was dumbfounded. What the hell was that? Bathing the fire spirit beast? Was he joking around? Who did not know that the fire spirit beast had a violent personality? Let alone taking a bath, one could not even catch a glimpse of its shadow normally, right? Du Gai sneered. Master Xianyuan, even if you're lying, you should say something more believable. No one has seen the true appearance of the fire spirit beast in our Heavenly Gate sect for thousands of years. How did it suddenly become docile in your sect? Master Xianyuan frowned. Du Gai, what are you talking about? What do you mean it had become docile in our sect? This one of ours was bestowed by the heavens, and yours was captured. How can this be the same? Du Gai sneered. Xianyuan Chongkong, do you take us all as 3-year-old children? How could it be so coincidental? Heavenly Gate sect just lost one, and your sect suddenly has a fire spirit beast. You've clearly used despicable methods to steal our fire spirit beast. I didn't expect that Spirit Radiance sect, one of the 4 great sects, would actually do such a thing. How despicable. Everyone felt that what Du Gai said made sense. That was right. How could there be such a coincidence? They had just lost it, and now there was one of them there. Sect leader, you're too easy to talk to. Let me ask sect leader Du Gai a few questions. Yun Chuzhou jumped up from behind and said with a smile. It's this damned girl again. Du Gai hated Yun Chuzhou to death, but his thoughts changed. No matter how cunning this little girl is, she's not as cunning as that old fox, Xianyuan Chongkong. Perhaps I can find a flaw in her. Thus, Du Gai said, Yun Chuzhou, what do you want to ask? Chapter 425, To pick an old man to be your father, sect leader Du Gai, is the fire spirit beast of Heavenly Gate sect male or female? What color is its fur? What does it look like? What is its age? Du Gai opened his mouth and said, This This fire spirit beast has a violent temperament. We've never seen its true appearance, but it's at least 2,000 years old. Sect leader Du Gai, it's as if you didn't say anything. According to what you said, doesn't it mean that all fire spirit beasts of Qingxian continent can be said to be the one that your sect lost? You should at least say something unique, right? Otherwise, how can you prove that this one is the one that you lost? You can't lose your father, and then pick some other old man to be your father, right? Boom! Everyone burst into laughter. This little girl's words were really interesting. Sect leader Du Gai had been scolded badly this time. Du Gai's face was livid with anger. He wished that he could slap Yun Chuzhou to death with one palm, but under everyone's watchful eyes, he could not make a move. He could only grit his teeth and say, "Yun Chuzhou, be merciful with your words." Although we've never seen the appearance of a fire spirit beast, we can occasionally hear its cries. We have recorded it with a sound stone. You can bring out your fire spirit beast and make it cry out a couple times. We can compare it. Sect leader Du Gai, didn't you say that your fire spirit beast has a violent temperament? How would we be able to carry it out? If we can, it means that its temperament is docile, so it isn't your fire spirit beast. Why are you contradicting yourself? This. Humph. Maybe you gave the fire spirit beast some medicine and made it docile and obedient. Du Gai stuttered when he was questioned by Yun Chuzhou. He hated Yun Chuzhou with all his heart. This wretched girl had such a sharp tongue. She was really difficult to deal with. Sect leader Dugu really has many evil tricks. He actually thought of giving the fire spirit beast medicine. TSK. Could it be because you want to give sedatives to the fire spirit beast? Maybe the fire spirit beast thought, I can't stay in such a wicked sect, so she ran back to the fire cave. The expression on Yun Chuzhi's little face was very vivid. The onlookers were all amused. Most of them did not know Yun Chuzhi, so they asked each other in a low voice, "Who is this little girl?" This little girl was only 14 or 15 years old, and she looked pretty good. However, her spiritual power was too low as she was only at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. It seemed that she was very favored in Spirit Radiance sect. Otherwise, how could she have any say in such an important occasion? Du Gai was a little embarrassed and angry by the crowd's laughter. Yun Chuzhi, cut the crap. Either you bring out the fire spirit beast, or we go to Spirit Radiance sect's Earth Fire cave together. In short, when we hear the fire spirit beast's cry, we'll know whether it's the one from our sect. Sect leader Du Gai, you said that you've lived for hundreds of years in vain. Isn't the cry of demon beasts from the same species more or less the same? A tiger's roar, a wolf's howl, an ape's cry, a horse's neigh, a lion's roar, a dog's bark. Even if it's not the fire spirit beast from Heavenly Gate sect, the cry must be more or less the same. You're not trying to deceive me because I'm young, are you? You're really disrespecting your elders. Du Gai's face was as red as a tomato. However, there was nothing wrong with what Yun Chuzhi said. The cries of the same type of demon beast were almost the same, so his explanation really could not hold up. Du Gai sneered, "Little girl, although you're eloquent, a small part of the fire spirit beast's tail was cut off by the sword when it was captured. As long as Spirit Radiance sect summons the fire spirit beast, everyone will know who's lying. Oh my god, this is bad. There's actually a mark. Didn't they say that no one in Heavenly Gate sect has seen that fire spirit beast before?" Yun Chuzhi felt that she had said something wrong and quickly covered her mouth. Chapter 426, Lose quickly. Whether it was Du Gai or the bystanders, when they saw Yun Chuzhi's performance, they were even more certain that this fire spirit beast from Spirit Radiance sect was the one from the Heavenly Gate sect. "Little girl, there's no point in talking anymore. Hurry up and summon the fire spirit beast, okay?" A trace of pride flashed in Du Gai's eyes. It was indeed easy to fool someone at such a young age. If it was that old thing Xianyuan Chongkong, he definitely would not have given himself away. Yun Chujia's small face scrunched up. She glanced at Master Xianyuan in embarrassment and then stuttered, "Master Dugu, the fire spirit beast is in the earth fire cave. There's earth fire inside, so we can't get it out." Du Gai sneered, "Little girl, just now Xianyuan Chongkong said that he would help the fire spirit beast to bathe. Why can't he get it out now? Aren't you contradicting yourself?" "Ah. The fire spirit beast is taking an afternoon nap now, so it can't be summoned." Yun Chujio took out a handkerchief and kept wiping her sweat, which made people think she was guilty. "Afternoon nap? Then how long does it naps for?" "Yes. It may take 8 to 10 days, or it may take a year or so." Yun Chujia's eyes flickered, and her hands kept tugging at the corner of her clothes. Du Gai sneered, "Little girl, isn't your excuse a little too lame? If you don't summon the fire spirit beast, it proves that Spirit Radiance sect is guilty, and then we can only resort to force to solve it." "Humph. If the fire spirit beast was woken up and didn't have a good rest, it would be in a bad mood. If it was in a bad mood, it wouldn't like to eat, and if it didn't like to eat, it wouldn't pass earth fire. This would seriously affect the production of earth fire. If it affects our production of earth fire, would you compensate us?" Although Yun Chujia's voice was very loud, no matter how one looked at it, it felt like she was acting tough on the outside but was actually weak on the inside. There was a sense of guilt in her voice. "Humph. Are you trying to stall for time? It's just a little bit of earth fire. If we have to compensate, so be it. Quickly summon the fire spirit beast." Du Gai saw Yun Chujia's behavior and was even more certain that the fire spirit beast from Spirit Radiance sect was stolen. "You'll pay." "Humph. How much can you pay? If this fire spirit beast is unhappy, it might affect half of the total earth fire production." Yun Chujia's eyes flickered as she shouted loudly. "How much do you want?" Du Gai was now in a hurry to prove that the fire spirit beast was from his own sect. If he could prove that Spirit Radiance sect had stolen their fire spirit beast, not only would the earth fire be once again exclusive to Heavenly Gates sect, but Spirit Radiance sect's reputation would also plummet. On top of that, there was still 1/10 of the spirit stones. Yun Chujio counted with her fingers for a while, and only when Du Gai impatiently urged her did she say, "How about 1/10 of the spirit stones?" Du Gai was so angry that he was twitching. "You really dare to ask for it? Just because we disturbed the fire spirit beast's nap, you want us to pay 1/10 of your sect's ownership of spirit stones? Little girl, you're making trouble for no reason. If you continue like this, well, just barge in." Du Gai's patience was exhausted and his attitude became domineering. "Alright, then 10 million low-grade spirit stones it is. If you don't agree, then you can just go ahead and try to barge in. Spirit Radiance sect isn't to be trifled with." Du Gai thought for a moment. Although 10 million spirit stones was not a small amount, it was not too much. It was better to end the battle quickly. "Alright. I promise you. If this fire spirit beast's tail is not broken, I will compensate Spirit Radiance sect with 10 million low-grade spirit stones." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. "Sect leader Du Gai, you won't go back on your word, right?" "Humph. I've always kept my word and never went back on it," Du Gai said with a cold smile. "Well, don't go back on your word then. You'll lose a lot if you do," Yun Chujio said with a smile. Where did the anxiety from just now went? Chapter 427, Am I Being Scammed Again? Du Gai had an inexplicable ominous premonition in his heart. Back then, when this stinky girl tricked him into signing the contract, she was smiling like that too. Could it be that I'm being scammed again? It can't be. It can't be. I must be overthinking. How could a teenage girl have such shrewdness? Master Xianyuan, send a few elders to catch the fire spirit beast with me. Our sect has always been truthful. Let's show the world who is lying. Yun Chuzhou turned around and said to Master Xianyuan. Master Xianyuan nodded and let Elder Xiao and the others follow Yun Chuzhou into the mountain gate. Although Master Xianyuan looked calm on the surface, he was extremely excited on the inside. Damn! Du Gai, are you mad? Aren't you a show-off? It'll make you suffer. It'll show you know what it means to be unable to cry. What it means to be in so much pain that you wish you were dead. What it means to have nothing to live for. The elders of Spirit Radiance sect all had solemn expressions on their faces, but in fact, they were all about to burst out laughing in their hearts. When they were tricked by little Jiu, they had rejected her in their hearts, but seeing her trick Du Gai was really great. Little Jiu's ability to deceive others was truly at its peak. No wonder Du Gai was tricked. If they did not know the inside story, they would definitely think that she was guilty. Her acting skills were simply impossible to not fall for. Everyone waited for nearly an hour before Yun Chuzhou and the others came out. Everyone stretched their necks and looked at a small fiery red beast following behind them. This small beast was only about 2 feet in size, and its appearance was somewhat similar to that of a fire-breathing panther. It had fiery red fur, and its eyes were like rubies, flowing with brilliant colors. It was very beautiful. What disappointed everyone was the small beast's tail had been wrapped by cloth, so it was impossible to tell whether its tail had been broken or not. Du Gai had originally felt a little uneasy, but now that the small beast's tail had been wrapped, his heart was filled with confidence again. Spirit Radiance sect was clearly trying to cover up. If its tail had not been broken, would there be a need to cover it up? The surrounding crowd curiously sized up the little red beast. Someone asked loudly, Sect leader Du Gai, is this a fire spirit beast? Didn't the fire spirit beast we had have a violent temperament? This one looks rather docile. That's right, we've never seen a fire spirit beast before. How can we prove that this is it? Du Gai looked at Yun Chuzhou. Little girl, is this really a fire spirit beast? Yun Chuzhou pursed her lips and rubbed the little beast's head. The little beast aimed its butt at Du Gai, and a rock fell to the ground and quickly burned. Oh my god! It's really a fire spirit beast. But isn't a fire spirit beast a strange beast? How can it be so obedient? That little girl even touched its head and it didn't resist. Yeah, I think this fire spirit beast might really be heaven's gift. Didn't they say that the one from the Heavenly Gates sect was very violent? This one is obviously very docile. It's hard to say. Can't you see that this fire spirit beast's tail is wrapped in cloth? If they weren't guilty, why would the tail be wrapped in a cloth? Little girl, since this is a fire spirit beast, then untie the cloth on its tail. Du Gai said confidently. Sect leader Du Gai, do you have any first aid pills on you? Don't try to blackmail Spirit Radiance sect just because you can't take the blow later. The smile on Yun Chuzhou's face was very bright. She was going to make a small fortune again. Was that not fantastic? Chapter 428, The Perfect Tale. Little girl, cut the crap. Hurry up and untie the cloth. Du Gai snorted coldly. Yun Chuzhou untied the cloth on the fire spirit beast's tail bit by bit. La, la, la. Everyone, take a look. What a perfect tail. Everyone's eyes were focused on the beast's tail. The tail was flawless. It was long and curled up, swaying back and forth nimbly. No. Impossible. Du Gai's eyes widened. He could not believe what he had just seen. It's a fake. You must have done something to it. They fixed the tail last minute. Yun Chuzhou giggled. Very humane Daoist Chini, please come forward and take a look. See if this tail has been tampered with. Sect Master Du Gai, you trust them, right? Although Du Gai wished that he could go forward and cut off the fire spirit beast's tail, he still nodded. Alright, please take a look. Will this fire spirit beast obediently let us take a look? Fairy Yume asked suspiciously. It can distinguish between good people and bad people. You and Daoist Chini are both good people, so it wouldn't reject you. If it were that person, it wouldn't work. Although Yun Chujio was vague, everyone knew that she was talking about Du Gai. Du Gai was not in the mood to bicker with her right then. His eyes were fixed on the fire spirit beast's tail. Fairy Yume and Daoist Chini walked to the fire spirit beast's side doubtfully and gently touched the fire spirit beast's tail. The fire spirit beast shouted in its spiritual sense, Master, can you not let them touch my tail? Number 2. Be good. I will go back and give you more food. Just let them touch it a few times and it'll be over. I'm making money to buy food for you. In order to eat, the fire spirit beast had no choice but to abandon its dignity as a beast. It obediently allowed Fairy Yume and Daoist Priest Chini to touch its tail a few times. This fire spirit beast's tail has indeed not been damaged, Fairy Yume said with certainty. That's right, its tail hasn't been tampered with, Daoist Priest Chini echoed from the side. Du Gai only felt a buzz in his head. If it was not for his superb spirit energy, he might have really fainted under such a huge blow. It was over. Not only did we lose Spirit Radiant Sects 1/10 of their share of Spirit Stones, we also have to compensate them 1/10 of their share of Spirit Stones, and the fucking 10 million low-grade Spirit Stones. Yun Chujio. It's all because of this smelly girl. Every time I'm unlucky, I can't escape her involvement. I must find a chance to get rid of this stinky little girl. Sect Leader Dugu. You have nothing to say now, right? Now it's my turn to speak. Everyone, I believe that you've seen the contract that the Heavenly Gates sect signed with our Spirit Radiance sect. The Heavenly Gates sect is really black-hearted, constantly finding trouble with our sect and insisting that we give away 1/10 of our share of Spirit Stones before agreeing to sell us Earth Fire. I didn't expect that the heavens would deliver the appropriate retribution. Not only did they extinguish the Earth Fire, but the fire spirit beast had also disappeared. Thus, they framed our sect for stealing their fire spirit beast. I won't comment much on Heavenly Gate sect's actions as I believe that everyone's eyes are sharp enough to see them. Sect Leader Dugu, now that the truth has been revealed, you should first transfer 10 million low-grade spirit stones to Master Xianyuan and then send someone to settle the spirit stone shares with us. It's best if you don't have any wishful thinking. If you want to act like a scoundrel and stall for time, and if your Heavenly Gates sect doesn't deal with this matter quickly, then in the future, Spirit Radiant sect's Earth Fire will not be sold to your sect at all. Yun Chujia's small figure was upright, and her words were righteous and impassioned. Chapter 429, The Price of Earth Fire. Du Gai's face turned red then green. He felt that he had nowhere to hide his face and wished that he could find a hole to hide in. He gritted his teeth. Our Heavenly Gates sect will naturally not go back on our words. Sooner or later, the truth will come out. When I find out who stole our fire spirit beast, I definitely will not forgive him. Yun Chujio ignored him and hopped to Master Xianyuan and said, Master Xianyuan, I've dealt with the unreasonable people. You can handle the rest of the business. Du Gai was so angry that he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Good, very good. Yun Chujio, I will remember you. Master Xianyuan held back his laughter and said to Du Gai, Master Xianyuan, first, transfer the 10 million spirit stones to us. Du Gai naturally did not want to be ridiculed by everyone for the 10 million low-grade spirit stones, so he gritted his teeth and transferred them to Master Xianyuan. He thought in his heart that even though they had lost this round, many people would definitely be jealous of Spirit Radiant sect's sudden acquisition of the fire spirit beast. Don't even think about enjoying your gains in peace. Master Xianyuan, congratulations. Not only did you obtain 1/10 of our Heavenly Gate sect's share of spirit stones, but you also obtained a fire spirit beast for free. Your sect will soar in the future. Heavenly Gate sect wouldn't be able to compete with you. Du Gai said in a strange tone. Fairy Yumei and Taoist Master Zhen Yi's thoughts shifted slightly. Originally, the four great sects were on par with each other and kept each other in check. Now, Spirit Radiance sect obtained 1/10 of the Heavenly Gate sect's share of spirit stones, and they even obtained a fire spirit beast for free. They will definitely surpass us in the future. Will they play tricks when that time came? The other large and small factions also began to shift their attention to the earth fire from their initial wait-and-see attitude. Would Spirit Radiance sect set the price of the earth fire to be very high? Master Xianyuan laughed loudly. Sect leader Du, you must be joking. Since our sect has received the heaven's gift, we naturally want to enjoy the benefits alone. After discussion, we've decided to set the price of the earth fire at 80,000 low-grade spirit stones per cart, which is 80% of what Heavenly Gates sect charged. Also, if any faction can hand over a fragment of the Great Void Mirror to us, then the price of the earth fire will be reduced by a further 20%. Moreover, as everyone has seen, there's only one fire spirit beast, so production of the earth fire is limited. Therefore, those who can provide the fragment of the Great Void Mirror will have priority in purchasing it. Master Xuanyuan's words caused a huge commotion among the crowd. They thought that Spirit Radiance sect would raise the price, but they did not expect that they would actually lower the price. This was truly unexpected. This instantly calmed the jealousy of the people. However, some people were clearly unwilling to see such a reaction. Du Gai asked with a cold smile, Master Xianyuan, since we can no longer enter the Great Void mystical realm, I'm wondering why your sect still places so much importance on the fragment of the Great Void Mirror. Could it be that there is some unspeakable secret within it? Fairy Yumei and Taoist Master Zhen also looked at Master Xianyuan suspiciously. This matter was indeed a little suspicious. Master Xianyuan smiled slightly. The reason why we want to collect the fragments of the Great Void Mirror is because this fire spirit beast was heaven's gift, so we want to do something that conforms to the law of the heavens. The Great Void Mirror was passed down from the ancient times. If we can collect all the fragments, it can be considered as a small return from our sect to the heaven's gift. This matter is entirely voluntary. Our sect only provided it as a choice, and we will not force anyone into it. Everyone can consider this among yourselves. If you're interested in purchasing the earth fire, please come to our sect another day for a chat. We will not keep you all here today. When everyone heard Master Xianyuan say that, although they still had some doubts in their hearts, they could only take their leave. Before leaving, Du Gai stared at Yun Chuzhou deeply. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said, Master Du, do you have something to say to me? I advise you to settle the Spirit Stone share transfer procedures as soon as possible. Otherwise, there won't be a share of earth fire for Heavenly Gate sect. Little girl, you're very good. However, you're already so outstanding at such a young age, showing off your intelligence like that. You have to guard your own little life. Du Gai felt his head buzzing. This smelly girl was really too infuriating. Chapter 430, Only Like Me. Thank you for your reminder, Master Du. Don't worry, you'll be able to live for thousands of years. Oh, you're already several hundred years old. Be careful on the way back. Don't get choked up or you'll be over in a flash. Yun Chuzhou smiled arrogantly. Du Gai felt that he would be so angry that he would vomit blood if he were to continue talking to the little girl. With a flick of his sleeve, he left with the people from Heavenly Gate sect. Master Xianyuan was in a good mood. It had been many years since he had such a good feeling. This pleasant mood continued until he entered the meeting hall. Master Xianyuan, do you want to give me some of that 10 million spirit stones? My mouth is dry from talking, and there's also number 2's performance. You should at least pay us some performance fees. How much do you want? Master Xianyuan subconsciously covered his storage ring. Let's meet in the middle. You just have to give me half. Master Xianyuan gritted his teeth. You have indeed made a great contribution this time, but as the little ancestor of Spirit Radiance sect, it's only right for you to contribute to the sect, so, I'll pay you 1,000,000 at most. Yun Chujio curled her lips. Alright, I am the sect's elder after all. 1,000,000 it is. Yun Chujio made another small fortune. After happily sending number 2 back to the Earth Fire Cave, she hopped back to her own courtyard. Before she reached the courtyard, she saw a group of colorfully dressed people blocking the entrance of her courtyard. They craned their necks and looked into the courtyard. When someone noticed that Yun Chujio had returned, she immediately shouted. Junior sister Little Jio is back. We want to have a chat with you. Quickly let us in. We've been waiting for you here for a long time. Yun Chujio's good mood immediately disappeared. This gigolo was really attracting attention. Fortunately, there was an isolation array in the courtyard. Otherwise, this group of people would have definitely barged in. Senior sisters, do you guys have an ulterior motive? To tell you the truth, my Prince Charming will only like me in this life, the next life, the following life, and so on. You don't have to waste your efforts. It's better for you to swiftly change your target. Yun Chujio placed her hands on her waist and shouted domineeringly. Everyone was stunned at first, then they started quarreling with each other. Junior sister Little Jio, you don't have the right to say this. Only young Master D can say it himself. That's right, we have to hear it from young Master D personally before we're willing to believe it. That's right, you are not married yet, so we have the right to pursue. Why don't you let us see young Master D? Yun Chujio, young Master D must have been tricked by you. Otherwise, why would he like a little girl like you who has no figure, body, or spirit energy? Yun Chujio looked at them with contempt and opened the isolation array in the courtyard. She saw D Biming sitting beside the stone table and drinking tea. When everyone saw D Biming, they immediately restrained their aggressive aura and looked at him shyly. Young Master D, I am Su Yan, an inner disciple of the West Peak. Ah, your teacup is empty. Let me pour you some tea. Su Yan said as she quickly walked toward the stone table. She had a plan in her mind. With her looks, she would definitely be able to attract young Master D's attention. She was much better than Yun Chujio. Scram! Just as Su Yan's hand was about to touch the teapot, D Biming flicked his sleeve. Su Yan flew over everyone's head like a kite with a broken string. After a long while, everyone heard a loud bang. Chapter 431, Feng Ming has returned. Everyone was shocked by D Biming's action. The female disciples who had wanted to imitate Su Yan were instantly frightened and did not dare to move forward. Get out! D Biming raised his head unhappily and swept his gaze across everyone. Everyone felt a chill run down their spines and their legs started to tremble. At that moment, they were extremely certain that if they did not get out, this man would mercilessly throw them out of the courtyard. At that moment, they no longer felt that this young Master D was elegant and gentle. He was a fucking jinx. Everyone staggered and ran out of the courtyard in a sorry state. After running for a few miles, everyone finally stopped. That young Master D is such a dog. I didn't expect him to have such a violent temper. I don't care how good-looking he is. What the hell was that? Exactly, he might hit his wife in the future. However, a few female disciples showed an even more infatuated expression. This kind of man is really interesting. He looked really handsome when he threw Su Yan just now. Yeah, young Master D only flicked his sleeve lightly, and Su Yan fell so far away. Su Yan is at the 9th level of spirit enhancement. Young Master D's spiritual power must be really unfathomable. What's the point of having a man who is easy to get? Only such a challenging man can give you a sense of achievement. I'm definitely going to get young Master D. That's right, I don't believe that I can't compete with that Yun Chujio. Young Master D must have been deceived by that Yun Chujio, that's why he doesn't show any emotion toward other women. At that moment, Yun Chujio was looking at D Biming with starry eyes. Prince Charming, that move of yours just now was really too cool. Especially when you said scram, it was simply too damn cool. Prince Charming, my admiration for you has risen to a new height. D Biming snorted. If you didn't let them in on purpose, would I have been stared at by those idiots? Yun Chujia's thoughts were exposed. She did not feel guilty at all. Instead, she said confidently, that's right, I did it on purpose. I just wanted them to give up. They wanted to snatch my man. They're simply looking to torture themselves. Although D Biming did not say anything, he was very pleased in his heart. The reason why Black Thing said that must be because she cared very much about him. Although she had many flaws, she was completely devoted to him. Little Sister Jill. Little Sister Jill. I'm back. Senior Brother Feng Ming. Senior Brother Feng Ming, I missed you so much. You're finally back. Yun Chujia's eyes lit up and she ran out of the courtyard to welcome him. D Biming felt his face hurt a little, and his heart was filled with panic. Looking at Yun Chujio and Feng Ming at the courtyard door, he wanted to beat them up even more. Feng Ming and the other successive disciples went out to carry out the sect's mission. As soon as they returned to the sect and reported to Master Shenyuan, they immediately came to look for Yun Chujio. Junior sister Little Jiu, how did you become so beautiful? And you even turned fairer and grew taller. Feng Ming said in surprise. Yun Chujio said very smugly, Pht. I was originally very good looking, okay? I was just a dusty pearl in the past, and I will become more and more beautiful as time passes. King Xuan's #1 beauty is none other than me. Junior sister Little Jiu, your words are still so interesting. Oh. You have spiritual power. You can cultivate now. Feng Ming was pleasantly surprised. Seeing that Feng Ming was genuinely happy for her, the smile on Yun Chujia's face became even more brilliant. Senior Brother Feng Ming, where did you go to train this time? You're finally back after such a long time. Oh right, what good stuff did you bring back for me? And Feng, who was in the corner, saw that his esteemed self's expression was getting uglier and uglier, so he lit a candle in his heart for Yun Chujio. Miss Jiu, are you courting death? Can't you see that our esteemed lord is about to fly into a rage? You're still talking and laughing. Chapter 432, Yun Chujia's man. This time, we went to Qingtian Mountains. Apart from the beautiful scenery, there are also many specialty products there. This 9-petaled hibiscus nectar is very refreshing and sweet. There's also this crescent banana that has a soft and sticky in the mouth, and girls love to eat it. Feng Ming kept taking things out from his storage ring to show off his treasures. Yun Chujia's smile was as bright as a flower. As she kept the things, she kept asking non-stop, Senior Brother Feng Ming, how far is Qingtian Mountains from our sect? When will you go again next time? Can you bring me along too? Feng Ming suddenly felt a chill on his body. When he raised his head, he saw D Biming. Feng Ming felt that he could be considered as one of the best among the younger generation. Not only in Spirit Radiance sect, but also in the Qingxian continent. However, compared to this man in front of him, whether it was his appearance, aura, or spiritual power, all of them were inferior. Feng Ming's confidence, which he had always been proud of, suffered a huge blow. D Biming stared coldly at Feng Ming and did not speak. However, even such a faint pressure made Feng Ming feel a little breathless. Feng Ming suddenly recalled that he had fallen for no reason twice and inexplicably felt that it was related to this man in front of him. Yun Chujio only noticed D Biming's displeased expression at this time and quickly said, Senior Brother Feng Ming, this is D Biming, my Prince Charming. Yun Chujia's man. Feng Ming stumbled and almost fell to the ground. With a shocked expression, he asked, Junior sister Little Jiu, what did you say? Why your man? Are you married? Yun Chujio giggled, not yet, but sooner or later he will be mine. Prince Charming, this is Bird, senior brother Feng Ming. Although Di Baiming felt that it was more appropriate to say that she was his woman, but seeing that Yun Chujio did not hide their relationship in front of Feng Ming, he knew that she really did not have any romantic feelings for Feng Ming. Thus, the expression on his face eased up a little. Di Baiming nodded slightly at Feng Ming, who cupped his hands. The two of them could be considered to have already met each other. Feng Ming chatted a little more. He felt a little uncomfortable in front of Di Baiming. Moreover, he felt odd that Yun Chujio kept talking about her man, so he found an excuse to leave. When Yun Chujio hopped to send Feng Ming off, Feng Ming asked in a low voice, Junior sister Little Jiu, what's going on? You're still young, don't be deceived. Senior brother Feng Ming, don't worry. I've known my Prince Charming for a long time. Master Xianyuan and the others have also seen my Prince Charming. I'll look for you to play with when I have time. Yun Chujio said with a smile. When Feng Ming heard her say that, he could not say anything more and left. Yun Chujio hopped back to the courtyard, took out the banana that Feng Ming had given to her, and ate it happily. While eating, she asked, Prince Charming, don't scare senior brother Bird so much. He has helped me a lot. Di Baiming snorted coldly but did not say anything. Although Bird Boy was a little weak, his character was still okay. He could not stay in Spirit Radiance sect too often, so maybe Bird Boy could help him a little. Little Jiu, since the matter with the fire spirit beast has come to an end, he'll go back to deal with some matters first. Don't be too playful and cultivate well. Try to ascend to the Tianyuan continent as soon as possible. Di Baiming had saved Yun Chujio from Shui Wuji. He had accumulated quite a lot of things in his hands. Initially, he had planned to leave after sending Yun Chujio back to Spirit Radiance sect. However, he was worried that the Heavenly Gates sect would make trouble, so he stayed for another 2 days. Okay, Prince Charming. Go do your thing. I will cultivate properly. Yun Chujio nodded her head obediently. At that moment, this fellow's heart was flying. After the gigolo left, she was going to look for senior brother Bird. She still had many questions to ask. Di Baiming frowned, after I leave, don't mess around. If I find out that you've done something ridiculous, I will not forgive you. Yun Chujio said confidently, don't worry. I will definitely cultivate well and improve every day. I will never let down my Prince Charming's expectations. Oh right, my Prince Charming, you must treat the other flirtatious bitches like you did today. You must attack them steadily, accurately, and ruthlessly. You must not let them have the chance to get close to you. Chapter 433, Miss Jiu is really bold and unrestrained. The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched slightly. Keep these 5 concealment talismans just in case you need them. Prince Charming, you're really too kind. Come, give me a kiss goodbye. Yun Chujio stood on her tiptoes and hugged Di Baiming. Di Baiming waved his sleeve, and the miserable Anfeng instantly lost his perception. Anfeng's heart was on the verge of collapse. The two of you are really crossing the line. Don't put out bait if you don't want anyone to take it. You're going to torture a single dog like me to death. Miss Jiu is really bold and unrestrained. However, for such a proud and arrogant fellow like the revered one, perhaps only an unconventional girl like the 9th Miss could take him down. The women of the Tianyuan continent were destined to be sad. However, some of the girls who adored the revered one aren't easy to deal with. Fortunately, the 9th Miss was now in the Qingxian continent. If she was in the Tianyuan continent, TSK, it would be very lively. Anfeng found that he had regained his senses while his thoughts were running wild. Anfeng, keep an eye on your revered one. If there are happenings in your little notebook, tell me and I will reward you handsomely. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Anfeng smiled non-committally, thinking to himself, Miss Chiu, you've got the complete opposite. The little notebook only records the happenings around you. After Di Biming left, Yun Chuzhou clamored happily. She was very pleased. Compared to Yun Chujia's elation, Du Gai from the Heavenly Gates sect was extremely depressed. Not only did he lose the earth fire, but he also had to give 1/10 of their spirit stones to Spirit Radiance sect. Fortunately, he had a deep foundation in Heavenly Gates sect. Otherwise, he would have been forced to give up the position of sect master because of this incident. Master, my cousins are in Spirit Radiance sect. Do you need them to do anything? Su Yenran asked tentatively. She was already halfway through the 9th level of spirit enhancement, and her cultivation speed could be said to be very fast. Hence, she was taken in as a true disciple by Du Gai. She was doing very well in Heavenly Gates sect. Du Gai's heart moved. Tell me about their situation. Su Yenran briefly explained the situation of the Bai siblings. Master, the two of them have a grudge against Yun Chuzhou. As long as I promise them some benefits, they will definitely agree to our arrangements. Du Gai nodded. We can give them some benefits and promise them that if they can't stay in Spirit Radiance sect, they can join our sect. I will accept them as true disciples. Get them to inquire about the fire spirit beast, and think of a way to get rid of Yun Chuzhou. Don't worry, Master. I'll get it done immediately. Su Yenran hated Yun Chuzhou to death. Even without Du Gai's instructions, she would have still contacted the Bai siblings. Su Yenran handed a secret letter Heavenly Gates sect's outer disciple that was planted in Spirit Radiance sect and told him to hand it to Bai Moyu personally. After receiving Su Yanran's secret letter, Bai Moyu was somewhat hesitant. Although he wished he could kill Yun Chuzhou, he limited it to using subtle tricks that would help not getting him discovered. However, the fire spirit beast was Spirit Radiance sect's top secret. Once he leaked the information about the beast, then he and Moru would definitely not be able to stay in Spirit Radiance sect. If things went wrong, they might even lose their lives. Therefore, when Bai Moyu replied, he only mentioned that he would try his best to get rid of Yun Chuzhou, and did not mention anything about the fire spirit beast. Su Yenran did not mind as she wanted to get rid of Yun Chuzhou first anyway. As for the fire spirit beast, as long as she used some tricks, she was not afraid that the Bai siblings would not comply. Chapter 434, Please stay in your lane. In the following period of time, the Bai siblings were very active. Bai Moyu was very sociable. Other than Liao Chuan and the other new disciples who kept a respectful distance from him, some of the older inner sect disciples had a good impression of him. Not only was he generous, but he was also very good at talking. Bai Mora's delicate appearance attracted the attention of some male disciples. In addition to Yun Chushan's pursuers, the three of them were very popular among the inner sect disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. Due to the Bai siblings' encouragement, as well as Yun Chujia's unbridled behavior, the inner sect disciples had a very bad impression of Yun Chuzhou. Moreover, they were also indignant about Spirit Radiance sect's higher-ups' favoritism toward Yun Chuzhou. How could a good-for-nothing at the 4th level of spirit enhancement be promoted to a true disciple? Although Yun Chuzhou had many wicked ideas and could speak eloquently, should the sect not focus on cultivation? The level of spiritual power was the standard to measure a disciple. Which inner sect disciple among them did not have a higher spiritual power than her? How could she be promoted to a successor disciple? Su Yun and the others told these rumors to Yun Chuzhou, but she did not take them to heart. People would only be jealous of those who were slightly stronger than them, and when you reached the height that they looked up to, the jealousy would turn into respect. Therefore, Yun Chuzhou did what she was supposed to do. She was not affected by these rumors at all. That afternoon, Yun Chujiu hopped over to look for Feng Ming. She felt that Feng Ming definitely had the potential to become her best friend. His personality was too compatible with hers. Most importantly, he was not pretentious at all. When Yun Chujiu was about to reach Feng Ming's courtyard, two women walked over from the opposite side. One of them was Su Yan, who got thrown away by Di Biming. The other woman was someone she had never seen before. She had a beautiful appearance and was even on par with Su Yanran. Her temperament was different from Su Yanran's cold arrogance. She was very gentle and magnanimous. Senior Zhua, you don't know her yet, right? During the period of time when you went out to train, this Yun Chujiu is very glorious. She obtained the first place in the Great Void Mystic Realm trial and was accepted as a true disciple by Elder Sun Buzhong. Furthermore, she had great luck and was able to cling on to young Master D. Now that young Master D has left, she's pestering Senior Feng Ming. How shameless. Although Su Yan had been thrown out by Di Biming, she did not hate him. Instead, she hated Yun Chujiu. Recently, she had been very close to Bai Moru, so she spared no effort to smear Yun Chujiu's reputation. Senior Sister Zhua berated her in a low voice, Junior Sister Su, stop talking nonsense. Junior Sister Yun is still young, so she does things without propriety. It's inevitable for her to be a little thoughtless. Junior Sister Yun, Junior Sister Su speaks without restraint. Please forgive her. Yun Chujiu glanced at Senior Sister Zhua. She was obviously trying to mediate the fight, but in reality, she was belittling her. What a white lotus flower, one. Forgive her. What if I don't forgive her? Why should I forgive her for slandering me? I'm not sick. Senior Sister Zhua clearly did not expect that Yun Chujiu would not buy her words. She frowned slightly. Junior Sister Yun, although Junior Sister Zhu's words are rash, were both disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. You don't have to be calculative. It's really not worth it to have an argument just because of a few words that aren't pleasing to the ear. Yun Chujiu could not help but sneer in her heart. This Senior Sister Zhu's words were really artistic. After hearing what she said, she decided to be a petty person. I'm sorry. First, I don't know you. This is a matter between Su Yan and me. Please stay north your lane. Second, Su Yan slandered me first. Since she has the guts to slander me, then she must have the guts to bear the consequences. Su Yan, are you going to slap yourself, or should I help you? Chapter 435. It is illegal to lay your hands, Junior Sister Yun. My name is Zhuo Piaoyu. I am the true disciple of Peak Master Yuan of the West Peak. We're just bickering a little. Why make a big deal out of it? To put it bluntly, if we were to really start fighting, even a 4th-level spirit-enhanced cultivator like you wouldn't be a match for Junior Sister Su. Senior Sister Zhua's brows were tightly knitted together. Yun Chujiu's actions were indeed very ostentatious. No wonder Senior Brother Feng Ming took notice of her. Since that was the case, she would let Su Yan teach her a lesson so that she can learn from it. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes. Senior Sister Zhua, are you trying to mediate the fight or are you trying to incite us to fight? Why do I feel that you really want us to fight? Zhuo Piaoyu never thought that Yun Chujiu would actually guess her thoughts. She looked a little embarrassed. Junior Sister Yun, you're really unreasonable. I was trying to mediate the fight and had good intentions, but you slandered me. Since that's the case, I won't care about your matters anymore. You can settle it yourselves. At this time, some of the inner sect disciples who passed by gathered around and pointed at Yun Chujiu. It's Yun Chujiu again. Senior Sister Zhua is the kindest and gentlest person in our Spirit Radiance sect. I didn't expect that she would be so angry with her. She's really unreasonable. I've never seen Senior Sister Zhua so angry. This Yun Chujiu is simply too much. Yeah, what Senior Sister Zhua said wasn't wrong either. She tried to mediate the fight with good intentions and was even slandered. This Yun Chujio is really unreasonable. Yun Chujio is a very arrogant and despotic person. The last time she used a flying spirit tool, not only did she beat up Moru and me, but she also used her foot to kick us. In the past, when we were in Yi City, she was just as vicious. Yun Chushan stood in the crowd and said, feeling wronged. When the crowd heard Yun Chushan's words, they became even angrier. This Yun Chujio is really too much. Are the sect masters and the 5 peak masters blind? They actually valued such vicious trash. If it was an ordinary person who was pointed at by the crowd, they would have long been unable to bear it. Yun Chujio acted as if nothing had happened. She blinked her eyes and said, all right, since senior sister Zhua has advised me, I'll take a step back. Su Yan, come over and apologize to me. Also, pay me 10,000 low-grade spirit stones as compensation for mental damage. I won't take this any further today. Yun Chujio, what I said is the truth. Why should I apologize to you? At that moment, Su Yan had Zhuo Piaoya's support, so how could she give in? Moreover, she felt that even if they were to fight, Yun Chujio was not her match. Are you sure you don't want to apologize? The corner of Yun Chujio's mouth curled up. If I don't apologize, would you dare to hit me? If you beat up a fellow disciple, you violated the sect rules. Slap. Slap. Yun Chujio suddenly went forward and gave Su Yan 2 heavy slaps. Then, she kicked Su Yan in the heart. Su Yan flew more than 100 feet away and fell heavily to the ground. Su Yan was stunned by the slaps. She did not expect Yun Chujio to really dare to violate the sect rules. This girl hit her just like that. She was really evil. Yun Chujio patted the non-existent dust on her hands and glanced around. If you have the time to gossip, maybe you should go cultivate. If anyone dares to say anything bad about me again, I will make him unable to get out of bed for 3 months. If you don't believe me, you can try. Whether it was Zhuo Piaoyu or the onlookers, they were all stunned. This Yun Chujio was really bold. She actually dared to beat up her fellow disciples in the sect. Also, was Su Yan so useless? You are at the 9th level of the spirit enhancement realm and yet, you were beaten up by Yun Chujio, who is at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Yun Chujio, I'm going to kill you. Su Yan got up from the ground and pounced on Yun Chujio like a madman. Chapter 436, The Valiant Yun Chujio. At that moment, Su Yan's appearance was indeed like that of a madman. Not only did the hairpin on her head fall off, but there were also 2 bright palm prints on her face. However, she was dressed lightly as well. With that kind of fall, the 2 lumps of flesh on her chest almost popped out of her clothes. The surrounding male disciples had a feast for their eyes. Their eyes seemed to have grown hooks as they stared intently at Su Yan's chest. Su Yan was usually very glamorous. She had never been bullied like that. At that moment, she did not care about the rules of the sect. She threw 5 wind blades at Yun Chujio. Zhuo Piaoyu was shocked. Yun Chujio was only at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. She definitely could not dodge all 5 wind blades. She would end up either dead or injured. However, it may be good if she died so that she would not be able to pester senior brother Feng Ming anymore. Her master usually doted on her the most, but she did not expect that when he returned, 8 out of 10 of the 10 sentences he spoke were complimenting Yun Chujio. Was she not just glib-tongued trash? What was there to praise? Moreover, even if Yun Chujio died or was injured, the sect would still hold that idiot Su Yan responsible, and it had nothing to do with her. However, it was better for her to put on an act. Thus, Zhuo Piaoyu pretended to take a few steps forward as if she was going to help Yun Chujio block the 5 wind blades. When the onlookers saw that something was going to happen, some of them wanted to step forward to help, but when they saw that Zhuo Piaoyu had made a move, they retreated. After all, Zhuo Piaoyu was a second-level spirit cultivator, so her spiritual power was much higher than theirs. By the time everyone realized that Zhuo Piaoyu had not made a move, Su Yan's 5 wind blades were already about to hit Yun Chujia's body. Yun Chujio, on the other hand, looked as if she had been scared silly. She actually stood still on the spot. It was over. Everyone could not help but scream. Only Yun Chushan and a few others there wanted Yun Chujio to die. Most of them only disliked Yun Chujio and did not want Yun Chujio to lose her life just like that. What everyone did not expect was that just as the 5 wind blades were about to land on Yun Chujio's body, Yun Chujio actually leaped up more than 10 feet off the spot. After landing on the ground, she directly kicked at the crazy Su Yan. "Fuck. You actually tried to kill me. I'll kick you to death. I'll let you taste my little Jio's shadowless kick. You're actually still coveting my Prince Charming. You're really shameless. I told you not to spout nonsense. I told you not to slander me. I'll kick you to death. You're always gossiping. If you don't know how to converse, then shut the fuck up. I'll let you learn your lesson." The crowd felt as if Yun Chujio was kicking them from left to right. They recalled what they had said about Yun Chujio and could not help but feel a little afraid. This Yun Chujio was too valiant. Even if she was at the 9th level of the spirit enhancement realm, she could still beat her up. It was really strange. Was she not at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm? How could she be so fast? Yun Chujio kicked a dozen times and saw that Su Yan had already fainted from the kick. Only then did she walk in front of the somewhat dazed Zhuo Piaoyu. "Zhuo Piaoyu, don't think that everyone else is a fool. Your White Lotus facade won't work on me. It looks like you're trying to mediate the fight, but every word is filled with anger. You can't wait for the two of us to fight. The reason why I dodged the wind blade so late was to see if you would come to my rescue. I didn't expect you to be so vicious to such an extent that you really didn't save me. It's fine if you didn't save me, but you made it seem like you wanted to save me to mislead everyone and make them give up on saving me. How vicious. I'll let you off this time for the sake of Peak Master Yuan. The next time you play tricks in front of me, I won't let you off." After Yun Chujio finished speaking, she walked away. This fellow thought to herself, no wonder the gigolo kept saying that he wouldn't let me off. This sentence was indeed very flashy, wasn't it? I even dared to scold that old thing Du Gai. You, a white lotus flower, are showing off in front of me. You're really looking for trouble. Chapter 437, We Can't Afford to Offend That Demon. Zhuo Piaoyu was robbed of her innocence by Yun Chujio. Before she could defend herself, Yun Chujio had already left. There was a subtle change in the hearts of the onlookers. Although Yun Chujio was a little arrogant, her words about Zhuo Piaoyu made some sense. If it were not for Zhuo Piaoyu taking the stance as if she wanted to save Yun Chujio, they would have definitely attacked. However, she did not attack despite her stance. If Yun Chujio was not fast, she would have been either dead or injured. Zhuo Piaoyu's eyes reddened when she saw everyone's suspicious gaze as tears fell from them. I really didn't react. I was injured during the training trip. I didn't expect junior sister Su to really attack, so I reacted too slowly. I have no enmity with junior sister Yun. Why would I want to harm her? Zhuo Piaoyu's gentle and reasonable image was deeply ingrained in everyone's hearts. When they heard Zhuo Piaoyu's explanation, everyone immediately believed her words. That Yun Chujio was full of evil intentions. Perhaps she thought that everyone was like her. Zhuo Piaoyu was well known for being gentle and kind. How could she do the kind of thing that Yun Chujio said? Seeing that everyone believed her words, Zhuo Piaoyu's eyes flickered a few times. Then, she cried out in alarm and pounced toward the unconscious Su Yan. Junior sister Su. Junior sister Su. Are you alright? Although Yun Chujio had kicked many times, she did not use her spiritual power. Therefore, although Su Yan looked like she was in a sorry state, in reality, she fainted out of embarrassment and anger. After being shaken by Zhuo Piaoyu, she woke up. Junior sister Su. Where do you feel uncomfortable? Don't worry, Yun Chuzhou broke the rules of the sect. We will testify for you. We will report to the patrolling disciples of the law enforcement agency of West Peak right now and seek justice for you. Zhuo Piaoyu said gently. Su Yan was so touched that she nodded repeatedly. Thank you, senior sister Zhuo. That bitch Yun Chuzhou, I will not forgive her. Yun Chushan, who was in the crowd, curled her lips. What an idiot. Zhuo Piaoyu seemed to be doing this for your own good, but in reality, she had betrayed you as well. When the law enforcement agency interrogates her, Yun Chuzhou had merely used her fists and kicks, but you've used wind blades. When that time came, the punishment might be even heavier than Yun Chuzhou's. However, what did this have to do with me? As long as Yun Chuzhou was punished, it's fine. Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan found the law enforcement team disciples who were patrolling the West Peak and told them about the incident. She thought that as the true disciple of the West Peak's master, these law enforcement disciples would immediately capture Yun Chuzhou after she finished talking. Unexpectedly, those few disciples only agreed and did not do anything. Zhuo Piaoyu frowned, why don't you go and capture Yun Chuzhou? The few patrolling disciples looked at each other, then one of the disciples said, Junior sister Zhuo, if it was someone else, we would immediately go and capture them, but Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou is special. Zhuo Piaoyu was stunned, how is she special? Although she is a true disciple, isn't it the same as an ordinary disciple when a true disciple makes a mistake? It's not a matter of a core disciple. Manager Qian specifically told us that anyone can be arrested. However, if Yun Chuzhou has committed a crime, we must report it to Elder Shao before we decide what to do. Zhuo Piaoyu simply could not believe what she heard. She sneered and asked, didn't you say that Elder Shao is impartial? Could it be that Yun Chuzhou has some kind of relationship with him? Junior Zhuo, you've misunderstood. It's not that our Elder Shao has anything to do with Yun Chuzhou. It's just that this Yun Chuzhou has too many bad ideas. The last time Yun Chuzhou was roasting a rabbit in the back mountain and was caught by Lu Qingzhen. In the end, it was Lu Qingzhen who was crippled and expelled from Spirit Radiance sect. On top of that, there was Luo Feng who wanted to harm Yun Chuzhou. In the end he was killed by a mighty elephant. If we rashly go and capture her, we might even lose our lives. Sister Zhuo, please spare us. We cannot afford to offend that demon. Chapter 438, was in a bad state. Zhuo Piaoyu was confused. As a successor disciple, she naturally would not pay attention to Yun Chuzhou, who was a handyman back then. Later on, she went out to train, so she did not know about these things. Seeing the determined attitude of these patrolling disciples, Zhuo Piaoyu said gently, in that case, I won't make things difficult for you. I'll bring junior sister Su Yan to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency and wait for Elder Shao to decide whether to arrest her or not. Hearing Zhuo Piaoyu's words, the patrolling disciples of the Law Enforcement Agency were grateful for Zhuo Piaoyu's understanding and took their leave. Zhuo Piaoyu helped Su Yan to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency and went to the manager, Qian Chong, to tell him about the matter. When Qian Chong heard that it was about Yun Chuzhou, his head hurt. He still remembered the incident with Lu Qingzhen. This little girl was not to be trifled with. She might even bite him back. You guys go inside and rest for a while. I'll report to Elder Shao and ask him to make a decision. Qian Chong decided to shift the responsibility to Elder Shao. I can't afford to offend that little demoness, Yun Chuzhou. Elder Shao was really in the courtyard. After hearing Qian Chong's report, he rubbed his forehead. This Yun Chuzhou is really troublesome. She causes trouble all day long. Although she has made great contributions to the sect, one should also be careful. Even if you secretly punish her, best not to let her catch you. Elder Xiao was suddenly shocked when he thought of this. It's over. How could I have been led astray by that little girl, Yun Chuzhou? As a result, Elder Xiao fell into self-denial and self-doubt, and his entire person was in a bad state. There are no rules that let us achieve a square with a circle. As an elder of the law enforcement agency, how could I have fallen for such a wrong way of thinking? Xian Chong saw that Elder Xiao seemed to be in a meditative state and did not dare to go forward to disturb him. He sat on a chair and waited. Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan waited in the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency until the sun set and Xian Chong did not return. The disciples of the Law Enforcement Agency avoided them as if they were avoiding a plague. They were afraid that they would be urged to catch Yun Chuzhou. Zhuo Piaoyu's hatred toward Yun Chuzhou dialed up 10 points. She had never received such cold treatment before. She did not expect that because of Yun Chuzhou, not only did she almost destroy the image that she had built for so many years in front of everyone, she was also given such cold treatment in the law enforcement agency. She had to destroy this bitch, Yun Chuzhou. Otherwise, not only would she snatch away senior brother Feng Ming, she would also sooner or later snatch away the glory that originally belonged to her. Su Yan was already beaten black and blue. After starving for an entire afternoon, she felt that she was going to faint again. Senior Sister Zhuo, let's go back first. Well, come back tomorrow. Alright, Junior Sister Su, they'll send you back. You go home and rest well. I believe that the law enforcement agency will definitely make a decision for you. Although Zhuo Piaoyu despised this big-breasted and brainless idiot, in order to punish Yun Chuzhou, she could only use her for the time being. Su Yan was very touched. Aside from thanking her, she used vicious words to curse Yun Chuzhou. At that time, Yun Chuzhou had just finished her dinner. She happily placed the luminous pearl that she had scammed from Shui Wuji in the room and lit it up. Then, she took out the remaining 2 storybooks and started reading them. Sigh, I don't know when I'll have the chance to go out again. These 2 books are too boring. My amateur cultural life is really too monotonous. Fifth sister and the others cultivate every day, and no one plays with me. That's true. After all, there are only a handful of people with such heaven-defying talent like me. I'm as lonely as snow. Just when Yun Chuzhou was bored and wanted to bang her head against the wall, her eyes lit up. She had a voice transmission talisman, so she could tease the gigolo. Chapter 439, Dried Salted Fish. Yun Chuzhou took out her voice transmission talisman and said slyly, Dear Prince Charming, do you miss me? I miss you so much. I miss you so much that I can't sleep. I miss you so much that my heart is about to break. After a moment, the voice transmission began to vibrate. Yun Chuzhou was a little excited as she sent her divine sense in. She heard Di Baiming's low voice saying, M. Yun Chuzhou thought that she heard it wrong. She listened to it 7 or 8 times, and there was really only one M. This girl was instantly enraged. What a tsundere! Spare the rod, spoil the child. They have not seen each other for 3 days and he was playing with her by being stingy with his words. What do you mean, M? Did you miss me? Answer me properly, or I will sing you the song of fried crab with rice cake. After a while, the voice transmission vibrated again. Yun Chuzhou proudly sent her spiritual sense into it, thinking that this time, the gigolo would definitely answer her with sweet words. Sing! Di Baiming's calm voice came out from the voice transmission talisman. Yun Chuzhou was stunned at first, then she grabbed the pillow on the bed and hammered it dozens of times. Gigolo! You're driving me nuts. You are such a tsundere. When you come back next time, I will torture you to death. Of course, Yun Chuzhou would not really sing the song of fried crab with rice cake for Di Baiming. After punching the pillows hard, she put away the voice transmission talisman. Gigolo, just stay there and wait. It'll turn you into dried salted fish. The miserable Di Biming was indeed waiting for Yun Chujia's voice transmission talisman. For 15 minutes, an hour, then 2 hours. There was no movement from the voice transmission talisman. On the other side, Di Biming was waiting bitterly. On the other side, Yun Chujio was sleeping soundly. In her dream, she had ravaged the gigolo so much that she could not bear to wake up. Junior sister little Jiu. Junior sister little Jiu. Feng Ming's shout came from outside the courtyard. Yun Chujio could only open her eyes reluctantly. TSK TSK. She was just one step away from getting the gigolo. What a pity. Yun Chujio yawned as she walked out of the room. Senior brother Feng Ming, why are you looking for me so early in the morning? Junior sister little Jiu, I heard that you beat Su Yan up. You even scolded junior sister Zhua until she cried? Feng Ming asked anxiously. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Senior brother Feng Ming, you didn't call Su Yan junior sister Su, but you called Zhuo Piaoyu junior sister Zhua. Could it be that you have feelings for her? She's a two-faced white lotus. Be careful not to let it screw you to death. Feng Ming was stunned. Then, he laughed and said, Junior sister little Jiu, what are you thinking? Junior sister Zhua and I often go out to gain experience. It's just that we have a good relationship. I'm worried about you. You beat Su Yan up. I'm afraid the law enforcement agency will punish you according to the sex rules. Besides, junior sister Zhua is gentle and kind. Why would she set me up? Oh right, what does the white lotus flower mean? The white lotus looks weak and kind on the outside, but in reality, she always hurts the people she doesn't like very badly. Of course, if she meets a white lotus killer like me, she'll be considered unlucky. Yun Chujio curled her lips. Did these people have eyes that grew to the back of their heads? How could Zhuo Piaoyu's hypocritical look show that she was gentle and kind? Feng Ming nodded, but he did not think much of it. He thought that Yun Chujio was just a child. Junior sister Zhua had always had a good reputation all these years, and when they went out to train together, she had always taken care of everyone. Perhaps it was just this accident that made junior sister little Jiu unhappy. Junior sister little Jiu, let's not talk about junior sister Zhua for now. The law enforcement agency will definitely come to arrest you in a while. Don't be afraid. When you arrive at the law enforcement agency, properly admit your mistake. I will help you plead for mercy. I believe that Elder Shao won't punish you too harshly. Feng Ming comforted. Yun Chujio giggled. Senior brother Feng Ming, you don't have to worry. Have you forgotten my identity? Little Pancher wouldn't dare to do anything to me. Chapter 440, I have come to surrender. Feng Ming was stunned for a moment before slapping his thigh. Junior sister little Jiu, I've forgotten about this matter. That's right, your little ancestor Yun. How would Elder Shao dare to punish you severely? Senior brother Feng Ming, wait for me for a moment. I'll wash up. After breakfast, we'll take the initiative to go to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency and surrender ourselves. Yun Chujio said with a grin. Feng Ming was dumbfounded. It was the first time he witnessed someone committing a mistake and delivering themselves to the door without waiting for anyone to catch them. However, it was also a little strange. He heard that this incident happened the day before at noon. Why did the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency not come to look for junior sister little Jiu? Did they not say that the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency was the most strict and rigid? It was really strange. After eating breakfast, Yun Chujio sat on the chopping board and slowly flew to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency. Feng Ming, who was flying on his sword beside her, clicked his tongue in wonder. Junior sister little Jiu, you can even sit on your chopping board. It's much more comfortable than our flying sword. Yun Chujio raised her small face and said proudly, this is nothing. In the future, it might turn into a bed board. At that time, I will lie on it. Feng Ming could not help but laugh. Little sister Little Jiu's idea is indeed different from the others. If it turns into a bed board, you might as well ride on a flying spirit tool. Why must you lie on the bed board? Flying spirit tools need spirit stones. But I don't need that for this board. Moreover, flying spirit tools are not as nimble as this chopping board. In some places, using them just doesn't make sense. The two of them chatted and laughed. Very soon, they arrived at the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency. Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu had just arrived at the Law Enforcement Agency. Manager Qian was comforting the two of them. You two wait here first. Elder Shao suddenly had an epiphany yesterday. I didn't dare to disturb him. After Elder Shao has finished meditating, I will handle your matters properly. Manager Qian, I'm here to surrender. Go and invite Elder Shao over. I'm waiting to be punished. Yun Chuzhou had just arrived at the door of the law enforcement agency when she shouted cheerfully. When the disciples of the law enforcement agency saw that Yun Chuzhou had arrived, they could not help but step back, afraid that this little fiend would latch on to them. Stop joking. You're going to surrender. You're waiting to be punished. You might be playing some evil trick again. Let's stay far away from her to avoid being latched on. When Su Yan saw Yun Chuzhou coming, she got up from her chair and was about to pounce on Yun Chuzhou when Zhuo Piaoyu grabbed her. Junior sister Su, the law enforcement agency will make a decision for you. Don't be rash. Senior brother Feng Ming, were you the one who persuaded junior sister Yun to surrender? Zhuo Piaoyu looked at Feng Ming with a hint of admiration in her eyes. Yun Chuzhou's lips could not help but twitch. Senior brother Bird was really oblivious. Feng Ming smiled, he said in a clear voice, I didn't advise her junior sister Little Jiu felt that she was too reckless yesterday, so she came over herself. Junior sister Su, the two of you were just quarreling. You scolded junior sister Little Nine first, and even used a wind blade. Although junior sister Little Jiu hit you, she didn't hit you that hard. Why don't we just let it go? Otherwise, both of you will be punished by the sex rules. Su Yan was so angry that she almost passed out. She was almost beaten into a pulp, and that was not considered hard. Are you blind? Zhuo Piaoyu's hands were tightly clenched together under her sleeves, and her nails dug into her flesh. Senior brother Feng Ming actually protected Yun Chuzhou so much. It was really detestable. Senior brother Feng Ming, although junior sister Zu's words are indeed not pleasant to listen to, Yun Chuzhou shouldn't have hit someone first. Let's not argue any more and wait for Elder Shao to deal with her. Zhuo Piaoyu suppressed the hatred in her heart and said gently. Chapter 441, Becoming more and more humane. Seeing this, Feng Ming could not say anything else. He turned around and was about to comfort Yun Chuzhou when he found that he was already sitting on the chair beside him. He then said to a disciple of the law enforcement hall, Senior brother, my mouth is dry from talking. Can you help me pour some tea? That disciple went off and not only brought back a pot of tea, but also a plate of snacks. Junior sister Little Jiu, this snack is new. Try it, thank you, senior brother. Your law enforcement hall is becoming more and more humane. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. That disciple was overwhelmed by the favor. He thought to himself, as long as you don't play any tricks on me, I will be eternally grateful. Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan were inner sect disciples. They didn't know how powerful this little demon was. He actually dared to provoke her. He really had a death wish. Just wait and see. In the end, no one will be at a disadvantage. Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu were so angry that they were about to faint. They were the plaintiffs, all right. They had been waiting here for the whole afternoon yesterday, but no one poured them a cup of tea. They all hid away as if they were avoiding the plague. Now that the defendant, Yun Chujio, had come to the hall. Not only did she have tea, she was also served snacks. This was too much. Manager Qian also felt that something was not right. He touched his nose and said, "You guys sit down first. I'll go get Elder Xiao." After Manager Qian finished speaking, he ran away like a gust of wind. Yun Chujio looked at Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu, who was sitting across her, and said with a smile, "Senior Sister Su, I have a pill that can promote blood circulation and remove blood stasis. Do you want to buy it? The effect is very good. I guarantee that after you eat it, your pig head will instantly turn beautiful." Su Yan stood up in anger. "Yun Chujio, don't be complacent. Elder Xiao will not forgive you." Yun Chujio spread her hands. "If you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. What's the rush? Look at Senior Sister Zhuo, she has never been in a hurry. Yesterday, you fainted, and she was still trying her best to act as a white lotus. TCH, it must be her who urged you to come to the law enforcement hall, right? You pig brain, don't you think that in the end, they'll be the one to be punished for using my kicking, or you'll be punished harshly for using your wind blade? She's playing you like a fool." Su Yan was stunned. Yun Chujio was right. She had used a wind blade at that time. Had they investigated further, wouldn't her sin be even greater? Could Senior Sister Zhuo have done it on purpose? Zhuo Piaoyu saw Su Yan's doubtful gaze. She quickly said, "Junior Sister Su, you didn't believe her nonsense, did you? I did it to avenge you. Since you're afraid of punishment, let's leave now." Moreover, Yun Chujio was the one who attacked first. That was self-defense. Although it was a little too extreme, you'll still consider it when you punish her. Sure enough, Su Yan was persuaded by Zhuo Piaoyu's words. She glared at Yun Chujio fiercely. "Yun Chujio, you don't have to waste your efforts to sow discord between Senior Sister Zhuo and me. Even if I'm punished, I will take you down with me." Yun Chujio pouted. "You are so stupid. In that case, just you wait. Don't blame me for not warning you. Sooner or later, you will be betrayed by your Senior Sister Zhuo." "Humph. Senior Sister Zhuo is a kind person, why would she harm me? Stop talking nonsense. Just await your sentence." Su Yan felt that Yun Chujio was deliberately trying to sow discord between her and Zhuo Piaoyu. Yun Chujio couldn't be bothered with her anymore. She crossed her legs and leisurely sipped her tea, thinking about how she would deal with Elder Xiao when he came. After a while, Elder Xiao and Steward Qian walked in. Yun Chujio was stunned. Why did this Elder Xiao look different from usual? It was as if a smelly and hard rock had a few holes in it. Chapter 441, Becoming more and more humane. Seeing this, Feng Ming could not say anything else. He turned around and was about to comfort Yun Chujio when he found that he was already sitting on the chair beside him. He then said to a disciple of the law enforcement hall, "Senior brother, my mouth is dry from talking. Can you help me pour some tea?" That disciple went off and not only brought back a pot of tea, but also a plate of snacks. "Junior Sister Little Jiu, this snack is new. Try it." "Thank you, Senior brother. Your law enforcement hall is becoming more and more humane," Yun Chujio said with a smile. That disciple was overwhelmed by the favor. He thought to himself, "As long as you don't play any tricks on me, I will be eternally grateful." Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan were inner sect disciples. They didn't know how powerful this little demon was. He actually dared to provoke her. He really had a death wish. Just wait and see. In the end, no one will be at a disadvantage. Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu were so angry that they were about to faint. They were the plaintiffs, all right. They had been waiting here for the whole afternoon yesterday, but no one poured them a cup of tea. They all hid away as if they were avoiding the plague. Now that the defendant, Yun Chujio, had come to the hall, not only did she have tea, she was also served snacks. This was too much. Manager Qian also felt that something was not right. He touched his nose and said, "You guys sit down first. I'll go get Elder Xiao." After Manager Qian finished speaking, he ran away like a gust of wind. Yun Chujiu looked at Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu, who was sitting across her, and said with a smile, "Senior Sister Su, I have a pill that can promote blood circulation and remove blood stasis. Do you want to buy it? The effect is very good. I guarantee that after you eat it, your pig head will instantly turn beautiful." Su Yan stood up in anger. "Yun Chujiu, don't be complacent. Elder Xiao will not forgive you." Yun Chujiu spread her hands. "If you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. What's the rush? Look at Senior Sister Zhua, she has never been in a hurry. Yesterday, you fainted, and she was still trying her best to act as a white lotus. TCH, it must be her who urged you to come to the law enforcement hall, right? You pig brain, don't you think that in the end, they'll be the one to be punished for using my kicking, or you'll be punished harshly for using your wind blade? She's playing you like a fool." Su Yan was stunned. Yun Chujiu was right. She had used a wind blade at that time. Had they investigated further, wouldn't her sin be even greater? Could Senior Sister Zhua have done it on purpose? Zhuo Piaoyu saw Su Yan's doubtful gaze. She quickly said, "Junior Sister Su, you didn't believe her nonsense, did you? I did it to avenge you. Since you're afraid of punishment, let's leave now." Moreover, Yun Chujiu was the one who attacked first. That was self-defense. Although it was a little too extreme, you'll still consider it when you punish her. Sure enough, Su Yan was persuaded by Zhuo Piaoyu's words. She glared at Yun Chujiu fiercely. "Yun Chujiu, you don't have to waste your efforts to sow discord between Senior Sister Zhua and me. Even if I'm punished, I will take you down with me." Yun Chujiu pouted. "You are so stupid. In that case, just you wait. Don't blame me for not warning you. Sooner or later, you will be betrayed by your Senior Sister Zhua." "Humph. Senior Sister Zhua is a kind person, why would she harm me? Stop talking nonsense. Just await your sentence." Su Yan felt that Yun Chujiu was deliberately trying to sow discord between her and Zhuo Piaoyu. Yun Chujiu couldn't be bothered with her anymore. She crossed her legs and leisurely sipped her tea, thinking about how she would deal with Elder Xiao when he came. After a while, Elder Xiao and Steward Qian walked in. Yun Chujiu was stunned. Why did this Elder Xiao look different from usual? It was as if a smelly and hard rock had a few holes in it. Chapter 441, Becoming more and more humane. Seeing this, Feng Ming could not say anything else. He turned around and was about to comfort Yun Chujiu when he found that he was already sitting on the chair beside him. He then said to a disciple of the law enforcement hall, "Senior brother, my mouth is dry from talking. Can you help me pour some tea?" That disciple went off and not only brought back a pot of tea, but also a plate of snacks. "Junior Sister Little Jiu, this snack is new. Try it." "Thank you, Senior brother. Your law enforcement hall is becoming more and more humane," Yun Chujiu said with a smile. That disciple was overwhelmed by the favor. He thought to himself, "As long as you don't play any tricks on me, I will be eternally grateful." Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan were inner sect disciples. They didn't know how powerful this little demon was. He actually dared to provoke her. He really had a death wish. Just wait and see. In the end, no one will be at a disadvantage. Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu were so angry that they were about to faint. They were the plaintiffs, all right. They had been waiting here for the whole afternoon yesterday, but no one poured them a cup of tea. They all hid away as if they were avoiding the plague. Now that the defendant, Yun Chujiu, had come to the hall, not only did she have tea, she was also served snacks. This was too much. Manager Qian also felt that something was not right. He touched his nose and said, "You guys sit down first. I'll go get Elder Shao. After Manager Qian finished speaking, he ran away like a gust of wind. Yun Chuzhou looked at Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu, who was sitting across her, and said with a smile, "Senior Sister Su, I have a pill that can promote blood circulation and remove blood stasis. Do you want to buy it? The effect is very good. I guarantee that after you eat it, your pig head will instantly turn beautiful." Su Yan stood up in anger. "Yun Chuzhou, don't be complacent. Elder Shao will not forgive you." Yun Chuzhou spread her hands. "If you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. What's the rush? Look at Senior Sister Zhua, she has never been in a hurry. Yesterday, you fainted, and she was still trying her best to act as a white lotus. TCH, it must be her who urged you to come to the law enforcement hall, right? You pig brain, don't you think that in the end, they'll be the one to be punished for using my kicking, or you'll be punished harshly for using your wind blade? She's playing you like a fool." Su Yan was stunned. Yun Chuzhou was right. She had used a wind blade at that time. Had they investigated further, wouldn't her sin be even greater? Could Senior Sister Zhua have done it on purpose? Zhuo Piaoyu saw Su Yan's doubtful gaze. She quickly said, "Junior Sister Su, you didn't believe her nonsense, did you? I did it to avenge you. Since you're afraid of punishment, let's leave now." Moreover, Yun Chuzhou was the one who attacked first. That was self-defense. Although it was a little too extreme, you'll still consider it when you punish her. Sure enough, Su Yan was persuaded by Zhuo Piaoyu's words. She glared at Yun Chuzhou fiercely. "Yun Chuzhou, you don't have to waste your efforts to sow discord between Senior Sister Zhua and me. Even if I'm punished, I will take you down with me." Yun Chuzhou pouted. "You are so stupid. In that case, just you wait. Don't blame me for not warning you. Sooner or later, you will be betrayed by your Senior Sister Zhua." "Humph. Senior Sister Zhua is a kind person, why would she harm me? Stop talking nonsense. Just await your sentence." Su Yan felt that Yun Chuzhou was deliberately trying to sow discord between her and Zhuo Piaoyu. Yun Chuzhou couldn't be bothered with her anymore. She crossed her legs and leisurely sipped her tea, thinking about how she would deal with Elder Shao when he came. After a while, Elder Shao and Steward Qian walked in. Yun Chuzhou was stunned. Why did this Elder Shao look different from usual? It was as if a smelly and hard rock had a few holes in it. Chapter 441, Becoming more and more humane. Seeing this, Feng Ming could not say anything else. He turned around and was about to comfort Yun Chuzhou when he found that he was already sitting on the chair beside him. He then said to a disciple of the law enforcement hall, "Senior brother, my mouth is dry from talking. Can you help me pour some tea?" That disciple went off and not only brought back a pot of tea, but also a plate of snacks. "Junior Sister Little Jiu, this snack is new. Try it." "Thank you, Senior brother. Your law enforcement hall is becoming more and more humane," Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. That disciple was overwhelmed by the favor. He thought to himself, "As long as you don't play any tricks on me, I will be eternally grateful." Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan were inner sect disciples. They didn't know how powerful this little demon was. He actually dared to provoke her. He really had a death wish. Just wait and see. In the end, no one will be at a disadvantage. Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu were so angry that they were about to faint. They were the plaintiffs, all right. They had been waiting here for the whole afternoon yesterday, but no one poured them a cup of tea. They all hid away as if they were avoiding the plague. Now that the defendant, Yun Chuzhou, had come to the hall, not only did she have tea, she was also served snacks. This was too much. Manager Qian also felt that something was not right. He touched his nose and said, "You guys sit down first. I'll go get Elder Shao." After Manager Qian finished speaking, he ran away like a gust of wind. Yun Chuzhou looked at Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu who was sitting across her and said with a smile, "Senior Sister Su, I have a pill that can promote blood circulation and remove blood stasis. Do you want to buy it? The effect is very good. I guarantee that after you eat it, your pig head will instantly turn beautiful." Su Yan stood up in anger. "Yun Chuzhou, don't be complacent. Elder Shao will not forgive you." Yun Chuzhou spread her hands. "If you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. What's the rush? Look at Senior Sister Zhuo, she has never been in a hurry. Yesterday, you fainted, and she was still trying her best to act as a white lotus. TCH, it must be her who urged you to come to the law enforcement hall, right? You pig brain, don't you think that in the end, they'll be the one to be punished for using my kicking, or you'll be punished harshly for using your wind blade? She's playing you like a fool." Su Yan was stunned. Yun Chuzhou was right. She had used a wind blade at that time. Had they investigated further, wouldn't her sin be even greater? Could Senior Sister Zhuo have done it on purpose? Zhuo Piaoyu saw Su Yan's doubtful gaze. She quickly said, "Junior Sister Su, you didn't believe her nonsense, did you? I did it to avenge you. Since you're afraid of punishment, let's leave now." Moreover, Yun Chuzhou was the one who attacked first. That was self-defense. Although it was a little too extreme, you'll still consider it when you punish her. Sure enough, Su Yan was persuaded by Zhuo Piaoyu's words. She glared at Yun Chuzhou fiercely. "Yun Chuzhou, you don't have to waste your efforts to sow discord between Senior Sister Zhuo and me. Even if I'm punished, I will take you down with me." Yun Chuzhou pouted. "You are so stupid. In that case, just you wait. Don't blame me for not warning you. Sooner or later, you will be betrayed by your Senior Sister Zhuo." "Humph. Senior Sister Zhuo is a kind person, why would she harm me? Stop talking nonsense. Just await your sentence." Su Yan felt that Yun Chuzhou was deliberately trying to sow discord between her and Zhuo Piaoyu. Yun Chuzhou couldn't be bothered with her anymore. She crossed her legs and leisurely sipped her tea, thinking about how she would deal with Elder Shao when he came. After a while, Elder Shao and Steward Qian walked in. Yun Chuzhou was stunned. Why did this Elder Shao look different from usual? It was as if a smelly and hard rock had a few holes in it. Chapter 442, Gratitude was like a torrential river. After Elder Shao entered the room, he actually nodded at Yun Chuzhou and even gave her a strange smile. Yun Chuzhou almost jumped from her chair in shock. "Io! Wasn't it too scary?" This Elder Shao was usually like a statue who did not smile. What kind of madness had overcome him today? Could it be that ancestral master Ling Hua gave him a dream last night? Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan saw that the usually serious Elder Shao had smiled at Yun Chuzhou. This was like seeing a ghost. How could they have known that Elder Shao's gratitude towards Yun Chuzhou at this moment was like a torrential river? It turned out that after Elder Shao's self-denial and self-doubt yesterday, he had an epiphany. The strong are easily broken. In the past, he was too rigid in terms of rules and regulations and had lost his true self. Cultivation itself was to conform to the Tian Dao, to conform to nature. He had overcompensated in the past. Elder Shao had been stuck at the fourth level of the spiritual emperor realm for several years and thought that he would stop here. He did not expect that after the epiphany, he had actually made a breakthrough. Elder Shao felt that Yun Chuzhou had beaten him up too well yesterday. If she hadn't beaten him up, he wouldn't have had that kind of idea. If he didn't have that kind of idea, how would he have had the opportunity to have an epiphany? If he didn't have an epiphany, how would he have broken through his limits? So the source of all this was Yun Chuzhou beating him up. It was that simple. Elder Shao glanced at Yun Chuzhou and then asked, "Who served Yun Chuzhou tea and pastries?" The disciple who poured the tea thought to himself, "It's over. Elder Shao was the most upright and righteous person here, he must want to punish him. He knew that it wouldn't be good if he got close to Yun Chuzhou, the little devil. There was no avoiding it now. Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan were very happy in their hearts. It turned out that Elder Shao was sneering at Yun Chuzhou just now. Yun Chuzhou, I told you not to be smug. You were the defendant to begin with, yet you still drank tea and ate pastries. You deserve it. Elder Shao is indeed upright. Yun Chuzhou, you beat me in public. Just wait for your punishment. Elder Shao, yes, I poured tea for junior sister Yun. The disciple said fearfully. Yun Chuzhou was about to plead for mercy, but she didn't expect Elder Shao to nod. Well done. However, this kind of pastry is too greasy. Bring a plate of spirit fruits here to relieve her of the greasiness. Everyone was dumbfounded. Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu were so angry that they almost choked. Has Elder Shao gone mad? This is the law enforcement hall. Not the living room. Yun Chuzhou is the defendant. The defendant. The defendant. Not only are you drinking tea and eating snacks, you actually care about whether her food was too greasy or not. That disciple was stunned at first, then he nodded and ran off to get the fruits. The disciple ran outside and giggled. Oh my God, after so many years, he finally heard Elder Shao praise him. It was not an easy feat. It seemed that Yun Chuzhou was not as bad as he thought. It was his lucky day today, wasn't it? Elder Shao glanced at Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu and said with slight displeasure, Tell me, why are you looking for me? When Su Yan and Zhuo Piaoyu saw Elder Shao's different attitude, they had an ominous feeling in their hearts. It was probably impossible to deal with Yun Chuzhou. Su Yan sobbed and told them about yesterday's incident. Elder Shao only frowned and then looked at Yun Chuzhou and said gently, Little Jiu, tell me what happened. Chapter 443, This is completely twisting black and white. Yun Chuzhou couldn't help but shiver. Oh my God, isn't this too shocking? This Elder Shao had always called her Yun Chuzhou, but now he actually called her Little Jiu. This was definitely her master's dream last night. Elder Shao, the matter is like this. Yesterday, when I went to look for senior brother Feng Ming to play, I met senior sister Su and senior sister Zhuo on the way. Senior sister Su spoke ill of me, saying that I was shameless, useless, and so on. I could tolerate all of these, but her words actually implied that she was dissatisfied with the sect. She felt that the sect leader and the other elders were blind to have accepted a useless person like me as a successor disciple. I couldn't take it anymore. Let alone my aunt and uncle. Therefore, I gently touched her with my foot. Before I knew it, she viciously threw out 5 wind blades. If I wasn't attentive, I wouldn't be alive right now. I was furious at that time. Originally, it was just a friendly exchange between fellow disciples, but she actually tried to kill me. I had to help her realize her mistake, so I used my foot to do it. Su Yan was so angry that she almost fainted. In the past, she had heard that this Yun Chuzhou could speak eloquently and had a quick wit. Now, she had finally seen it for herself. This was twisting black and white, spouting nonsense. She claimed she used her foot to lightly touch her, yet she flew more than 100 feet away. She almost fell to her death. Moreover, when did she say that the sect leader and the elders were blind? Elder Shao. Yun Chuzhou is spouting nonsense. I didn't say that the sect leader and the elders were blind. Su Yan hurriedly explained. Senior sister Su, do you dare to swear to the heavens that you are not angry that I was accepted as a successor disciple? Do you think that the sect is too biased towards me? Is it too unfair to you? If you dare to swear to the heavens, I will let you do as you wish. Yun Chuzhou said confidently. Su Yan almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Did she dare to swear? That was exactly what she was thinking. You dare not swear, right? Then prove that those words were not said by you. Let me remind you, you slandered the sect leader and all the elders. Yun Chuzhou pointed at Su Yan's nose and said loudly. Elder Xiao, although I thought so, I didn't say it. I really didn't say anything blindly. In a moment of desperation, Su Yan said what was in her heart. Shuo Piaoyu cursed silently. Yun Chuzhou was obviously bluffing. She didn't expect you to admit it yourself. After Su Yan finished speaking, she also knew that she had been fooled, but it was already too late. Elder Xiao snorted unhappily. Su Yan, do we still need to explain to you about the decision Master Shenyuan and the sect have made? We already know what Yun Chuzhou is like. Moreover, is the first-place finisher in the Great Void Mystic Realms trial not qualified to be promoted to a successor disciple? The competition of the 4 great sects is about to arrive. As an inner disciple, you don't cultivate properly and are always stirring up trouble. You really don't want to improve yourself. Moreover, the little Jiu only touched you with her foot, but you actually used a wind blade to retaliate. You are too ruthless. However, it was little Jiu who made the first move, so I will reduce your punishment. How about this? Although little Jiu had violated the sect rules by beating up her fellow disciples, her intentions were good. She was also doing this for the sake of the improvement of her fellow disciples, so she would be fined half a year's worth of sect resources. As for you, since you stirred up trouble and overreacted, you will also be fined half a year's worth of sect resources. If you don't repent and continue to stir up trouble, you will be demoted to an outer sect disciple. Alright, I still have things to do. All of you can leave now. Elder Xiao was in a hurry to tell the good news of his breakthrough to his old friends. How could he be in the mood to deal with such trivial matters? After saying that, he left in a hurry. Happily trotting off. Chapter 444, Bitches are pretentious. Su Yan felt her head buzz and her vision went black. She slumped to the ground. Half a year's worth of sect resources was nothing, but Elder Xiao's impression of her had clearly got worse. She might be demoted to an outer sect disciple if he caught her again. If she was demoted to an outer sect disciple, her future would be ruined. Chua Piaoya's face was also filled with disbelief. Was this really Elder Xiao? Who had always been known for his iron face and unselfishness. Things were over just like that. Yun Chuzhou had truly violated the sect rules. According to the sect rules, shouldn't she be punished to reflect on her actions for at least a month? Why was it only half a year's worth of sect resources? Feng Ming, who stood at the side, was also dumbfounded. Could it be that he was away for too long? Why did this Elder Xiao seem to have changed into a different person? Was he becoming more and more like Elder Chu? Even Yun Chujia's face was filled with bewilderment. Fuck, what was going on? She had thought that her nonsense would be refuted by little Pancher, but who would have thought that he would let her off so easily? Did the sun rise from the north now? Yun Chuzhou shamelessly put the spirit fruits and pastries on the table into her storage ring, then, she asked Su Yan with a smile, cough cough. Senior sister Su Yan, by the way, we can be considered friends after a fight. Do you want to buy some medicinal pills to promote blood circulation? I will give you a 20% discount. Su Yan choked and actually fainted from anger. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and spread her hands innocently. It's really not my fault this time. I was being kind. I just asked her if she wanted pills. The disciples of the law enforcement hall had silently judged Yun Chuzhou to be a dangerous individual. This lady was a bogeyman. This Su Yan still wanted to sue Yun Chuzhou. She was simply digging her own grave. Not only did she not manage to do anything to Yun Chuzhou, but her own future was instead potentially ruined. Elder Xiao held an important position in the West Peak. Disciples that he did not think highly of would never have the chance to stand out. Chua Piaoyu fed Su Yan a pill. When Su Yan woke up, Zhuo Piaoyu then said indignantly, Yun Chuzhou, you are really too much. You knew that junior sister Su was injured by you yesterday and her body was weak, but you still used words to provoke her. You are so young yet you're merciless. Yun Chuzhou curled her lips. Kind senior sister Zhuo, since you know that senior sister Zu's body is weak, why did you urge her to come to the law enforcement hall to complain? I'm warning you for the last time, don't provoke me. Otherwise, even if Peak Master Yuan intervenes, I won't let you off. Feng Ming saw that the two of them were on the verge of fighting, he quickly said, all right. All right. This is all a misunderstanding. Junior sister Zhuo, didn't junior sister little Jiu say that she was only helping junior sister Su to recognize her mistake? Now that junior sister Su has recognized her mistake and junior sister little Jiu has been punished, this matter will be over. Don't mention it again in the future. Zhuo Piaoyu saw that Feng Ming was protective of Yun Chuzhou, her eyes reddened. Senior brother Feng Ming, I just can't stand junior sister Yun bullying others like this. Our Linghua sect has always been amicable, but junior sister Yun has repeatedly argued with others. She should properly reflect on herself. Reflect on your head. Scram. Do you want me to be punished for another half a year for the sex resources? The thing that Yun Chuzhou despised the most was this kind of hypocritical white lotus flower. It was even worse than some villains. Disgusting. Seeing that his advice made things worse, Feng Ming grabbed Yun Chuzhou and said, Junior sister little Jiu, we haven't been to the Spirit Beast Park for a long time. Let's go and see the mighty elephants. Yun Chuzhou saw that Feng Ming was so anxious that his forehead was sweating, so she could only nod and say, all right, senior brother Feng Ming, then I'll let you off today. Senior brother Feng Ming, you must remember one thing, lest you be deceived by some people. Feng Ming asked in puzzlement, what words? Yun Chuzhou glanced at Zhuo Piaoyu and said, bitches are pretentious. Chapter 445, I am really too kind. Feng Ming saw that Zhuo Piaoyu was on the verge of exploding, so he quickly dragged Yun Chuzhou away. Junior sister little Jiu, did something happen to Elder Xiao? Why do I feel that he is a little strange today? Feng Ming asked Yun Chuzhou curiously along the way. Yun Chuzhou burst into laughter, senior brother Feng Ming, I am also puzzled. This Elder Xiao seems to have suddenly become enlightened. In the past, he seemed like he was straight as an arrow, but now it seems that someone has managed to make him more flexible. Feng Ming was amused by Yun Chuzhou's analogy and burst into laughter. The two of them chatted and laughed as they arrived at the West Peak Spirit Beast Garden. Relying on Feng Ming's face brushing, the two of them had a smooth journey and soon arrived at the mighty elephant's garden. Hey! Little babies! I'm here to see you again. Yun Chuzhou sat on the chopping board and greeted the 6 mighty elephants. When the mighty elephants saw Yun Chuzhou, they cried out a few times as a form of greeting. They were a little puzzled. The chopping board seemed to be bigger than before. Oh, not bad. Da and Air have reached Tier 9. Yun Chuzhou asked excitedly. 2 of the mighty elephants shook their huge noses excitedly in response to Yun Chuzhou's words. Junior sister Xiaojiu, you even gave these mighty elephants names. Yes, according to their size, Da, Air, San, Si, Wu. That little guy is 1 generation younger, so we'll call him Da. How about it? Did I give him a nice name? Feng Ming. Senior brother Feng Ming, they must be thanking me. If it wasn't for my philosophical words back then, they would have spent the rest of their lives muddle-headed. Now, they are all working hard to be prepared beasts, and this is all thanks to me. I am a kind person, always doing good deeds. Not only did I persuade fellow disciples like Su Yan, but I also persuaded these spirit beasts. I am moved by myself. I am really too kind. Feng Ming. Senior brother Feng Ming, why aren't you saying anything? Cough. Cough. Junior sister Little Jiu, I originally thought that I was already very narcissistic in the Linghua sect, but now I feel that compared to you, I'm quite humble. Yun Chujiu giggled. This isn't narcissism, this is confidence. The corners of Feng Ming's eyes twitched. Junior sister Little Jiu, in 3 days, we're going to the Eupatorium Valley to pick some Eupatorium grass. Are you coming along? The Eupatorium Valley is close by. We'll be back the same day we leave. Yes. I will go. I will definitely go. I will go and look for the sect master right now. I will definitely get his approval. Yun Chujiu said excitedly. She was bored to death. Finally, she had something to do. Master Xianyuan really could not withstand Yun Chujiu's torturous divine techniques. He could only agree to let her go with Feng Ming and the others. He also instructed Feng Ming to protect Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu counted on her fingers and finally looked forward to the day of departure. She got up early and stretched her neck to wait for Feng Ming. After Feng Ming arrived, the two of them went outside the mountain gate to meet up with the others. Senior brother Feng Ming, Yun Chujiu is also coming with us. Chua Piaoyu raised her voice, her beautiful brows tightly knitted together. Yes, junior sister Jiu is bored and wants to come along to relieve her boredom. Junior sister Zhua, don't tell me you are still brooding over what happened a few days ago. Feng Ming said with a smile. The jealousy in Zhua Piaoyu's heart spread like poisonous weeds. She clenched her teeth and said gently, Senior brother Feng Ming, am I that kind of person? I'm just worried that junior sister Yun's spiritual power is too low. What if we can't take care of her and she gets hurt? Chapter 446, Eupatorium Poison beat Junior Sister Zhua, don't worry. I will protect junior sister Little Jiu. With our skills, we will definitely be able to complete the mission. Gung Yi, Shi Xian, and senior brother Ding, do you have any objections? Feng Ming said confidently. The 6 people who went this time were all successive disciples. Besides Feng Ming and Yun Chujiu, there were also Zhua Piaoyu, Ding Lang, Gung Yi, and Shi Xian. Gung Yi was the successive disciple of Peak Master Du of the East Peak, while Shi Xian was the successive disciple of Peak Master Chiu of the South Peak. The two of them had a pretty good relationship with Feng Ming, so they naturally agreed readily. Ding Lang's eyes flickered a few times, and he also nodded his head in agreement. Seeing this, Zhua Piaoyu had nothing more to say. She thought to herself, Yun Chujiu, you've got a death wish. Originally, I didn't have the chance to kill you while in the sect, but now you're the one who took the initiative to come out and throw your life away. I've already advised you not to go. If you insist on going, if something does happen, don't put the blame on me. Ding Lang, who was at the side, had a twinkle in his eyes. This was truly a heaven-sent opportunity. Among the 6 people who came out to pick the Eupatorium grass, besides Yun Chujiu, he was the only one who understood the medicinal principles. When the time came, he would be able to take this bitch's life without anyone knowing. Yun Chujiu was like a little bird that had been released from its cage, chattering non-stop along the way. Gung Yi and Shi Xian had also heard some of their fellow disciples talk about how Yun Chujiu was arrogant and despotic. Now that they had come into contact with her, they felt that the 3 of them were the real monsters. She was clearly a naive and romantic little girl, but her reputation had been smeared to such an extent. 4 hours later, everyone arrived at the Eupatorium Valley. The reason why the Eupatorium Valley was named so was that the valley was rich in Eupatorium grass. Eupatorium grass was a high-grade black-grade medicinal herb, and the accompanying beast was the Eupatorium poison bee. Although Eupatorium poison bees were a 3rd-grade demon beast, it was a demon beast that lived in groups. Each bee colony guarded the Eupatorium grass within a few dozen mu of land. Although eupatorium grass was called grass, it was actually a spiritual plant that bloomed all year round. Eupatorium poison bees liked the pollen and nectar of eupatorium grass, so if threatened, they would retaliate in force. Eupatorium poison bees were different from ordinary bees. They would not die after stinging people. Moreover, their toxicity was extremely strong. After being stung by one, even if they immediately took an antidote pill, they would temporarily lose their spiritual power. If they were stung by more than one bee, if they could not remove the poison in time, their life would be in danger. Gung Yi and Shi Xian, lure the bees away. Junior sister Zhua and senior brother Ding will be responsible for eliminating the remaining bees. Junior sister Jiu and I will pick the eupatorium grass. Feng Ming made a simple division of labor. This arrangement was very reasonable. The most dangerous task was the one to lure the bees away. Gung Yi and Shi Xian had higher spiritual power, so it was very suitable for them to do this. The harvesting job was the least dangerous, and so it was suitable for Yun Chujiu, who had the lowest spiritual power. Moreover, with Feng Ming's protection, there should be no problems. Although Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang's spiritual power was not as high as Gung Yi and Shi Xian's, it was still safe to pick the eupatorium grass. However, it was not a problem for them to deal with the remaining poison bees. Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang both had their own thoughts. They simultaneously thought about how they could get rid of Yun Chujiu discreetly. After the discussion, they found a nest of eupatorium poison bees. According to the plan, Gung Yi and Shi Xian began to anger the bees. Sure enough, the bees all chased after them and flew far away. Junior sister Zhua, senior brother Ding, you guys deal with the remaining ones. Don't let them come to me and junior sister Xiaojiu. Junior sister Xiaojiu and I will hurry up and pick the eupatorium grass. Feng Ming pointed at the dozen or so eupatorium poison bees in the distance and said. After saying that, Feng Ming took Yun Chujiu to the side and began to pick the eupatorium grass. Seeing how Feng Ming doted over Yun Chujiu, Zhuo Piaoyu could no longer control the jealousy in her heart. A trace of ruthlessness flashed in her eyes. Yun Chujiu, you forced me to do this. Chapter 447, Junior Sister Yun, Go Steal the Honey. Ding Lang, who was standing at the side, caught a glimpse of Zhuo Piaoyu's gaze and was delighted. He did not expect Zhuo Piaoyu to have the intention to kill Yun Chujiu. In that case, he would act accordingly and add fuel to the fire. Originally, Feng Ming and Yun Chujiu were very close to each other. However, as the harvesting progressed, the two of them were separated. Ding Lang saw that Zhuo Piaoyu had quietly lured the few remaining eupatorium poison bees to Yun Chujiu's side, who was squatting down unaware as she picked eupatorium grass. Feng Ming was alert throughout the harvest. When he heard that something was wrong, he realized that the remaining eupatorium bees had flown to Yun Chujiu's side. He quickly used his wind blade to attack the bees while shielding Yun Chujiu behind him. Feng Ming had the highest spiritual power among them, so it was not a problem for him to protect Yun Chujiu. Zhuo Piaoyu was extremely resentful. She gritted her teeth and deliberately got stung by a eupatorium bee, then fell toward Feng Ming. Ah! Senior brother Feng Ming, save me! Feng Ming was shocked and subconsciously grabbed Zhuo Piaoyu, who was about to fall. At that time, Ding Lang lured a few poison bees toward Yun Chujiu. Damned girl, die! Among the few of them, only he had the antidote to the poison. If he intentionally held back the antidote, you would be dead for sure. A few poison bees flew towards Yun Chujiu viciously. Feng Ming reacted, and when he wanted to attack, it was already too late. Feng Ming's head buzzed. It was over. If junior sister Little Jiu was stung by so many eupatorium bees at once, she would immediately die from the poison. Yun Chujiu stood calmly on the spot and did not hide. The few eupatorium bees were blocked by an invisible barrier when they were within 3 feet of Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu giggled. TSK, turns out the defensive spiritual tool that my Prince Charming gave me is really useful. These stupid bugs still want to sting me. What wishful thinking. Haha, come on, chase me. Let's play hide and seek. Yun Chujio was jumping around and playing with the few Eupatorium poison bees. She was having so much fun that Zhuo Piaoyu almost fainted from anger. Ding Lang's eyes flashed with malice. Stupid girl, keep showing off. Let's see if you can still laugh. Feng Ming was occupied carrying Zhuo Piaoyu and had his attention on Yun Chujio. He did not notice when Ding Lang quietly sprinkled some powder on him. A moment later, dozens of Eupatorium bees came out of the hive. Unlike the Eupatorium bees that were lured away, these Eupatorium bees had blue stingers on their tails. Oh no! These are the egg-protecting bees of the Eupatorium bees. Why are they attacking? Everyone, retreat! Ding Lang pretended to be panicked and shouted. Feng Ming was carrying Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang had done something to him. How could he escape from these dozens of Eupatorium bees? He was instantly stung several times. Even Zhuo Piaoyu, who he was carrying, was stung a few times. All of this happened in a flash. When Yun Chujio wanted to help, it was already too late. Fortunately, Gung Yi and Shi Xian ran back after leading the swarm far away. Together with Ding Lang, they forced the poison bees back to the hive. What's going on? Don't the egg-protecting bees usually stay in the hive? Why would they suddenly attack Feng Ming and junior sister Zhuo? Senior brother Ding, quickly give them the antidote. Gung Yi shouted anxiously. Ding Lang took out the antidote and gave it to the two of them. This antidote can only control the spread of the bee venom. If you want to completely detoxify it, it's best to get the honey of the Eupatorium poison bees. Shi Xian frowned. The Eupatorium poison bees hive not only has egg-protecting bees but there's also the queen bee. The queen bee is a level 8 demonic beast. Even if we join forces, we won't be a match for it. Although the queen bee is powerful, the queen bee won't leave the hive. As long as we get the honey and leave the hive alone, there won't be any danger. Junior sister Yun has a defensive spirit tool on her. Why don't you use it and steal some honey? Ding Lang looked at the anxious Yun Chujio. Chapter 448, The honey thief. Gung Yi was stunned for a moment and then angrily rebuked, junior sister Little Jiao is only at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Even if she has a defensive spirit tool, it would be like sending her to her death. When we return to the sect, I don't believe that there is no way to detoxify the poison there. Ding Lang looked troubled. The two of them were stung by the egg-protecting bees. Even if they took the detoxification pill, they wouldn't be able to make it back to the sect. Shi Xian gritted his teeth. I'll go. I get the honey even if it kills me. I'll go with you. We can't just watch Feng Ming and junior sister Zhuo die from the poison. At worst, we'll all die together. Gung Yi stood up and prepared to rush to the hive with Shi Xian. Don't go, I'll go. I can get the honey. Yun Chujio said. Before the others could react, they quickly jumped in front of the huge hive. The Eupatorium poison bee had few natural enemies in the Eupatorium Valley, so its beehive was not built on a high place, but in huge holes in trees. Junior sister Xiaojiu, come back quickly. There's a queen bee in the beehive. It's extremely poisonous. Your defensive spiritual device can't withstand its attack. Gung Yi shouted. As both Gung Yi and Shi Xian were about to save Yun Chujio, Ding Lang stopped the two of them. Junior sister Yun's defensive spiritual weapon is very high level. Let's take a look at the situation first. Maybe junior sister Yun can do it. Moreover, if those egg-protecting bees attack again, I won't be able to protect the two of them alone. If they get stung again, it's over for them. Gung Yi and Shi Xian considered Ding Lang's words. They could only observe the situation first and then act accordingly. At this moment, Yun Chujio had already taken out her large kitchen knife and hacked at the beehive. Before Yun Chujio's large kitchen knife landed, a queen bee that was much larger than the other Eupatorium poison bees crawled out of the beehive. The poisonous stinger on its tail stung Yun Chujio. The poisonous stinger of the queen bee was blocked by the spiritual energy barrier. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and ignored the queen bee. She was ready to continue hacking at the beehive with the large kitchen knife. However, the size of the queen bee was huge. It blocked almost all the attack aimed at the beehives that were exposed. Yun Chujio had no opening to exploit. Yun Chujio recalled what Ding Lang had said just now. The queen bee would not leave the beehive so easily. She had an idea. Gung Yi and the others were stunned as they watched Yun Chujio put away the kitchen knife. Then, she took out a rolling pin. The rolling pin kept growing until it was more than 3 meters long. Yun Chujio took the extended version of the rolling pin and started to hammer the queen bee. Damn it! I'll hammer you to death. Why are you so stingy? I just want a small piece of it. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and go away. I'll leave after I get some honey, or I'll hammer you to death. If your subordinates can't sting me, what makes you think you can? I'll beat you to death in a moment. Do you want to protect the honey or your life? It was the first time the miserable queen bee had encountered such a perverted human and this perverted broken stick. Its body was very strong, but when this broken stick hit its body, it really hurt. The queen bee held on for a while, but it couldn't hold on any longer. The egg-protecting bees couldn't break the spiritual energy barrier on Yun Chujio's body, so the queen bee was terrified. The queen bee stepped back and gave up a small piece of the beehive. Are you a fucking miser? Even if you step further in, it won't even be enough honey for me. Aside from getting them an antidote, I have to try something the honey myself. Otherwise, wouldn't I have come here for nothing? Yun Chujio took the rolling pin and beat it again. The queen bee could only step back a little. Where did this little pervert come from? Why was it so greedy? It hurts. Step back a little more. Do you still want to get beaten up? Yun Chujio beat it again. The queen bee felt that it was really going to end up a flattened queen bee, so it had to step back a little more. Yun Chujio then took the big kitchen knife and started to slice off part of the hive. The queen bee was about to collapse. Didn't you say that you wanted a small piece? How was that a small piece? It was almost half of the beehive. Before the queen bee flew into a rage, Yun Chujio finally stopped. She bared his little white teeth at the queen bee. The old won't go and the new won't come. I'm helping you build a new house. I'll come to visit you another day. The queen bee buzzed a few times. You dare say you'll come to visit again? I don't want to see you again in this lifetime. Honey thief. Honey burglar. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.